Hold it down. Don't say nothing if you're on the mic. Relax. Yo, all right, what's up? We on the Grown Folks Talk Friday night. We're gonna get the thing started. We ain't gonna hold it up. We got a whole heck of a panel for you today. You know what I mean? Let me introduce my co-host. You know, I got the big homie. You know what I mean? I got Fred up here, you know.
What's up, family? You know how we doing it. I'm all the way in Queens, New York. You know what I'm saying? Bringing up my half with you. You know how we do Grown Folks Talk.
All right. So, okay. Say your name, sis. Where you from?
How you doing? I'm Paradise. I'm from East Harlem, Taino Towers, and Wagner. Mostly raised in Clinton Hills, Brooklyn, and Bed-Stuy.
Okay. All right. Come on.
I'm Hassan from Harlem, Lincoln Projects.
All right. You already know. Okay.
Hey, Kiki from Harlem, One Live in the house.
All right.
What's up? This your girl, Miss T, aka Harlem Heron.
AKA the unique hater basher. Introduce yourself. Yo, you can't turn it on back there, dog. Come on, family. Yeah. Introduce yourself, Asia. Okay. We're gonna start off. Asia, you gonna introduce yourself? Could you hear us? Well, Asia's the pretty one that can't be heard in the back. With all those ladies that can't be heard. Say something, Asia. All right. Okay, well, we're gonna move on. Paradise. What's your question you had? You had a question to begin with?
Yes, I have a question specifically for the ladies. Because a lot of times, you know, we always have our talks when we talk about when we're dealing with our relationships, so on and so forth. And it's never a time where we put each other in check. Like if I know I'm doing my man dirty and she sees me doing him dirty, she's like, yo, sis, why you not doing? You know, you should do a little bit better. Don't you think, that's wrong? So it's like a lot of times females, they cheer on bad behavior. And I'm trying to understand why they don't say, it's always good to have a reality check, especially when you trust. But I don't see that going on a lot. That's my.
All right.
Yeah. The thing with that is, like I was saying, you never know what might be going on in her household and between them that she hasn't discussed with you to make her act out that way. You know what I mean? Because everybody they're not always upfront and honest. You could be doing something crazy and she might even be too embarrassed to even discuss it. So her way of dealing with it is doing her. So you just never know. And the question to ask instead of trying to put her in check and be like, listen, what's going on with y'all? Y'all relationship ain't really all that. And maybe you can find out, what's going on. Or if she just doing him dirty, then just doing him dirty and he's a person, then it's like, But you just never know what's going on in other people's households and relationships.
Thank you.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I think personally it has to deal with the level of the relationship between the women. You have to be in a special place in my life for you to check me on my personal business like that. You know what I mean? I can't come up to you like, yo, you funky with him. Who am I? But if we down like that, then I can pull you to the side and be like, "Bull, this is really good. Why do you even deal with him if you're gonna treat him like that?" So I think it has to deal with the relationship that y'all have before you get into her relationship.
Okay. I respect that. Thank y'all, ladies.
Okay. Next, who else got a question? Miss T, you got one?
Something that I was last week, I think, as far as men, when you get to a certain age, at some point, I think for a man, it's okay to be honest when it comes to your feelings for a woman. I'm not speaking about myself.
Oh, you got on this feelings thing.
But I'm saying, you got something because I've seen it. They're not honest about really loving a woman or, I'm saying, just really being into a woman. I've seen that before because I talk to a lot of dudes and, they discuss things and it's like, I don't understand if you love somebody and mostly it's like, I don't know if they're doing it for their friends or so you don't seem like you're fucking in love and stuff like that. So I don't understand that. Men.
But look, let me get that dress. Let me get that. Because she been dying to hit me with this bull about like if I'm telling dudes not to have feelings and emotions. First of all, it's all right to have feelings and emotions, men, but we have to keep them in check. We have to be able to control our feelings and emotions, because if not, then it becomes toxic, and that's what causes a problem within the relationship, the friendship, or whatever, whether you're dealing with. Go ahead, Miss T.
No, I'm
you look like you got something to say.
So I'm listening to you. No, I ain't got nothing to say.
Okay, but now you let me speak.
Yeah.
But now, as far as the way that goes, there's nothing wrong with a man expressing feelings, man. But the thing is, like I said, it have to be kept in control, and don't let anyone pull you out your feelings. Always try and stay within control of your feelings. That way, you will always be the same. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to jump out there and disrespect. Like, oh, I can't say that I love my girl. I can't say I'm gonna be with my girl. I can't say I want to spend some time with my girl. When I'm with my girl, I tell her homies, yo, I'm babysitting. You know what I mean? I'm babysitting my baby. You know what I mean? I'm just chilling. I'm babysitting my baby, and I love it. Right. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with staying home with your girl, watching a movie, whatever. You do her toes, her nails. You wash the dishes, so when she come in, everything is done. You know what I mean? You clean the counter off, so when she come in, just sit back and relax today. You know what I mean? And if she even breathes funny, like she thinking about moving, you ask her, what is it she need? And you get that for her. You show her that she's special and you glad that she's there. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But what I'm dealing with is when a dude let his emotions get in front of him and then he get disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying? Because he knows he's doing something wrong. So he's putting it that she got to be doing something wrong. Because I know I'm doing wrong. And that's something that a lot of us have within us. And then we create, we expose self-created drama. You understand? Ain't nothing going on but us cheating. Right. But we want to make it that they got to be doing something wrong for me to justify why I'm doing that. Right. And I know I'm dead wrong. You understand? So, if I'm wrong, y'all tell me. Go ahead, Dres want to say something. So I just want to get that.
I agree with the bulk of what you said, that, like, it's important for men to stay logistical, to keep emotion out of a lot of their decision making. You know what I'm saying? Like that's important as far as, just a man being a man. But at the same time, I think a lot of men grow up in, like, you'll hear a lot of times in a household that a man grows up not hearing from his father that he loved him, or his father wasn't even there, you know what I'm saying? Or even that his mother was, found it hard to express love. You know what I'm saying? So that man grows up under the realm of having an issue expressing love. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, like that's the mother and father, that's a hell of a bond, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not getting it from your mother and father to a degree, like it takes an exceptional woman to bring that forward, to make a man feel like he can share that with her. You know what I'm saying? Because if he ain't getting it at home, it's very rare that a man's gonna look at someone that have a greater love than his mother. You know what I'm saying? So if his mother had a hard time showing it, then he might have a hard time showing it or even receiving it. You know what I'm saying? So again, that would be a building process. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like once a man knows that, that who he is, regardless of the situation, then it's a little easier for him to let you see a little bit more of who he is. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I agree with Unique as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important that a man doesn't react off of his emotions primarily. You know what I'm saying? Like especially in a world that has a target on a black man's back. If he reacts emotionally to a lot of things that's going on around him, he'll hurt himself,
I understand that, but you do have some women that feel like Like a man could be into a female and they could be into, one another. But if he's not sharing enough, although he love her to death, he ain't going nowhere, nothing. But if she doesn't feel that or hear it, she might think it's something else. And going back to what Paradise said, she might feel like, you know what? I'm going to do this, not knowing that this man really loves her, but he doesn't know how to show it, because he wasn't given that, or he never learned how to do that, which is very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Big House. Go ahead, House.
Well, I agree with Miss T. What she's saying, and both everyone in the panel, Dreads, everyone. A lot of times, a lot of brothers don't know when it's time to be mature, and maturity, they're walking alone, and a lot of times, brothers look for the approval of their peers, and what I'm saying, this goes on into middle age. So what happens is that now you're looking for the approval of your peers, what I'm saying. But this relationship, is supposed to take precedence, and they don't know when to, to start, let this relationship take precedence over their social, their peer relationships. So that's when it becomes a battle between that, you know what I mean? And then, a lot of times people bring up certain baggage, like what the brother Dredd said, about, if you never saw it before, if you haven't experienced, someone, behaving in that manner, you can't emulate the behavior. You can't mimic the behavior. So what happens is that a lot of brothers in general, we mimicking behavior that we think is the way we should be. You know what I mean? We think women supposed to have certain roles, and we don't know that, that's superficial. But when you get into a relationship, those roles mesh together. So the men cook, the women clean, it's various, but some brothers have this idea, women's supposed to do this, and a man is supposed to do that. And a lot of that comes from their upbringing and things of that nature. But it's it's primarily based on knowing when it's time to be mature. You know what I mean? Because saying that's going, you have the maturity. You're gonna need the maturity so you and that person can have a decent relationship.
It's real. What you're saying is real. A lot of times too, women talk to each other. Men don't really talk to each other like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's important for a man to have a point of reference. A lot of times a man doesn't know how to deal with something if he doesn't have a point of reference. You know what I'm saying? Like if he hasn't seen it to some degree in his life, or or in the life of his father, his parents, or someone that's close to him, there's no reference for him to kind of gauge how he's moving. And that's more than just showing his feelings. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just how he moves in life. You know what I'm saying? It's important that that we do start instilling a community as men. You know what I'm saying? Like that we start talking to each other, and and sharing more at home. You know what I'm saying? For real, you wind up walking a lot of things on your own. Sincerely.
Yeah.
Yes, Kenya.
Can I just something real quick? To piggyback off what you gentlemen are saying, I find raising boys that if you don't allow a boy to express his emotions young, and you tell him that's girl stuff, stop crying like a little, if you teach him that, he don't know how to deal with his emotions in any relationship, in his friendships or romantic relationships. So I think that foundation, like you said, laid at home, not so much necessarily from the mother and the father, but how they react to his reactions. You know what I'm saying? Why you always crying? Why you?
Right.
That kills you right there. You understand what I'm saying? Just from my perspective, I'm very conscious of that with raising my son. You can cry, it's okay. It's a human emotion. It doesn't make you less than a man. Doesn't take away your masculinity at all. Right. So if they don't learn that early on, they're just a product.
They'll start feeling like they're doing something wrong by showing emotion. You know,
right? Exactly.
And that's not healthy. You're right.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Go ahead. You want to add to that, Paradise or Miss T? I see your hands up. It looked like.
Well, I just wanted to say it all really goes down to people might want to express themselves, but their communication skills are not where they need to be. And a lot of people don't know how to communicate. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he has kids by this woman, and it's like the communication is like zero. And what he learned years ago, you know, in this household was that, in her household, is that nobody talked about nothing. Everybody went to their rooms, closed their doors, and if there was ever an issue, nobody talked about nothing. Hugs wasn't given, love wasn't shown, and that behavior is actually being seen with their kids now. So a lot of stuff, you know, it's just unfortunate that people don't know how to do a lot of things because they weren't shown that, like they weren't given that at home. So it's just unfortunate.
But see, I agree with that because, you know, if a young lady wasn't shown how to receive love or affection, then she don't know how to receive it.
Or give it. She don't know how to give it.
Yeah, that's real. I've seen chicks, a dude be trying to really show a young lady love, and she look at him like he a sucker. You know what I'm saying? And you be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like you almost feel bad for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, you know, I've seen it happen to friends of mine. Like, you know, like he trying to go all out for Shorty, and Shorty, you know, like obviously trying to play him, you know what I'm saying, only to get played, you know, down the road. You know, like it's important on both sides of the fence that we learn more about, you know what I'm saying, who we are as family, as people, you know what I'm saying, and to be able to communicate. Miss T, you hit around the head. Communication is just really paramount. And that even takes it back to Sister's first question, you know what I'm saying, like you know, like when women checking each other. I find that even in families, you know what I'm saying, like you know, families, you know what I'm saying, will let a family member do dirt and keep their secret because they family instead of checking them. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like sometimes it's you have to have a moral compass within yourself though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because you family don't mean that you need to condone somebody doing wrong. I ain't saying go tell or no shit like that, but or anything like that. But but you check them. You let them know, like, you know,
be a moral compass.
Right. That's not who we are. Let alone that's not who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's not who we are. You know what I'm saying? And you know, but dudes need to be able to do it too. Like we all need to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it says a lot of times what you allow somebody to do in front of you says just as much about you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like it's real. Like, you know, like you gotta be able to check somebody out of love. Let them know, like, you know, I ain't trying to bash at you, but we better than that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're gonna do it in front of me, you acting like, you know, like I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with that.
Well, you know, a lot of us are acting out of our nature. You know, it's in our nature as Black men to want to get confirmation from our woman, and that comes from Dr. John Henry Clark. And you know what I'm saying? So he called it Big Mamaism. You know what I mean? So what happens is that when we don't understand that, you know, we want confirmation. That's why we, you know, we ask, we inquire about certain things, or how our woman looks at certain things, or what do you think about certain things? Because a woman really is that encouragement. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of brothers don't understand. What happens is that, you know, instead of this person balancing you out and be equilibrium, give you balance. What happens is, you know what I'm saying, you look at more or less at the relationship as like someone being a servant. You know what I mean? And you know what happens is that, you know what I'm saying, now this relationship is a relationship with, you know, y'all supposed to build each other up. And what happens is that, you know, us not knowing, you know, what really motivates us inside our innate motivations, you know what I mean? You know, because, you know, men, you know, women look for us for protection, you know, economic protection, physical protection, you know, all different types of protection. And we look to women for inspiration. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? So what happens is that when you're not feeding those two dynamics, what happens is that, you know, eventually you're going to look for that to be fed. And that's why people, you know, relationships start dwindling and drifting off, for the simple fact that, you know what we crave inside from innately, we're not feeding that.
Okay. I definitely agree with that. That's deep, you know. But now, what do you think about when the men, you know, just don't want to give love? You know, like he starts taking the woman for granted. You know, like if sees his object, sees his toy, you know what I mean? Whatever he wants, you know what I mean? It's no more anything about her. Like she's supposed to get my shoes, she's supposed to get my beer, she's supposed to.
You know what that is though? That's
Where do you
respect.
think that comes from, let's say?
That's a loss of respect.
Wait, hold on 1 second, Dre. Let me bring Asia back in. Asia. Okay, Asia back in, so she'll pick up where we at. Go ahead, Dre.
I was saying, like, you know, like that goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you know, like when certain things start happening in a relationship, they start chipping away at the respect the person has for the other person. And those are the ways that it starts showing itself. You know what I'm saying? Like that lack of love, you know what I'm saying, becomes disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And once that becomes accepted, then disrespect becomes accepted. Then you start getting it from different avenues. You know what I'm saying? Like it's important that, like Brother House was speaking, like that a woman might look to a man for security, a man like look to a woman for inspiration, but they both need to be able to see the other in a respectful way, as someone worth honoring, as someone worth holding down, to be grateful that the relationship even exists. You know what I'm saying? And once you get to the place where like that you're not grateful for the situation, then little things like little disrespects start happening, and they start growing, especially if they're taken for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be taken for granted is a form of disrespect, whereas you're not realizing what you have. You know what I'm saying? And not only disrespecting your partner, you're disrespecting yourself as well. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not seeing yourself as a unit. You know what I'm saying? You as a unit, you're not who you're supposed to be, and that could be in a friendship too. You know what I'm saying? Like, like there's lopsided relationships all over. You know what I'm saying? But like that's a form of respect, though. In my opinion.
Go ahead, Paradise.
And this is something that I wanted to speak on along the lines of the conversation. A lot of times, which is something I don't understand.
Hold on. We got a special guest want to come in and say hi and join us. Hold up. All right. There she go. Hey. All right. She's gonna come back. All right. Go ahead, finish.
Okay. So my thing is, a lot of times relationships I see, and even whether it's friendship, romantic, whatever, so many times people, they are if you're not it's no communication at all. It's like if someone does something if I piss somebody off, instead of talking about it, oh, I don't want to be bothered with her no more, just shut me completely out. And I see that a lot going on in today's relationship, friendship. And I see, people, they'll put these empty quotes on Facebook or Instagram about, everybody's a philosopher on Instagram. Everyone knows all the answers and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I tell people, I'm going to piss you off just like I'm going to make you smile. But you're going to need to accept both of that, because I'm human. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem that I see. And I wanted to speak on that. Everybody wants such robotic connections. It's so empty now.
What's up?
Okay. Miss T?
Well, I think Hassan had a question first.
No, go ahead, ladies first. All time.
Something Drez has. When Drez was talking about respect. Now, I always consider myself a different type of woman, because one thing I will never deal with or have ever dealt with, I have a zero tolerance for disrespect. I've never really actually been in situations where men did that anyway, because number one, you got to know who you are first. Once you know your worth and a man comes and deal with you, he already know how he coming to you. And this is what I've learned. Men will deal with one woman one way and deal with another one totally different. I've seen him be straight disrespecting her over here, put his hands on her and all that. Over here, straight different, almost like a little puppy dog, because at the end of the day, you got to know your worth. Once you know your worth and they see how much respect and love you have for oneself, they gonna come at you totally different.
That's right.
Totally different.
But Black, that comes from however you introduce yourself at the onset of the relationship is how you will be treated. You know what I mean? If you just like dealing with, just like two homeboys, two males dealing with two males, or two females dealing with females, and I know you've all seen this and you've heard this. Familiarity breeds disrespect.
Breeds contempt.
Just gonna say.
That's
So
right.
when
That's
you
what
get
I'm
with
gonna
a
say.
female or dude, especially when I get with a female, I tell them straight up, man, this is what I want. You know what I mean? And now you're gonna tell me what you want, and then we're gonna go from there. But I'm not gonna sit here and play the game of, lying to kick it, trying to get in your pants, and then after I get in your pants, then I got a psycho like the old Miss T. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it 100. I just shoot you a shot. I just shoot you a shot. You know what I mean? But
listen.
But I'm sure y'all understand, because we talking about like our younger selves not really know no better, just jumping up in any little skins that crack their legs. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where it comes from. But if a woman allow a man to treat her in any fashion, or even a man allow another man to treat him in any fashion, they're going to continue to do that. You know what I mean? We're repetitive creatures. You understand what I'm saying? So if we learn to walk with the left foot first. If you realize you use the same foot every time to move forward when you stand up. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know which one it is, but because it's repetitive. This is what you've been doing for 50-something years, 40 years, 30 years. You know what I mean? So that be it. So what I'm trying to say to hurry up and get off is that how you allow yourself to come in like that, you know what I mean, is how that, whatever you accept, man, what you get. If you let a dog pee in the house on the rug and you don't smack him on his nose, he gonna keep doing it. If you let a dude disrespect you one time, he gonna keep doing it. If you let a man disrespect you one time, he gonna keep doing it. If you let a woman disrespect you one time, she gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean? That's just how it is.
Right.
Go ahead, Mr.
Listen, it's grown folks talk, so I'm gonna keep it grown folks with y'all. My son turned 14 years old today. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to
God bless him.
I wanted to run up and just chop it with y'all for a second, but I'm gonna get back to, you know what I'm saying, running around, get my grown folks on. And you know what I'm saying?
But you know what? Hey, Dredge, before you leave, homie, just so you know how big we doing it, so you know everybody love Unique love everybody, and this for the people, trying to give the people something. That's all we doing.
That's
you know
all
what I mean?
Doing. No doubt.
Her joint keep popping in and out, but we almost had it for a second.
I know Lily trying to get up here.
You know what I mean? You scored the prize, son.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? You scored the prize, son.
All right.
Yeah, right there. The joint keep jumping in and out, but I think it's coming in right about now. It looked like. You know what I mean?
That's it right there. That's good luck.
Okay, let's get in real quick so you say what's up before you peel out. Lele, they go the homie Dredge, he getting ready to peel out. His son turned 14 today. So he ran the first half, and we passing the ball to you for the second half.
That's what's up.
All right? Okay, y'all got it? Could she be heard? Her mic ain't mute because she looked frozen. All right. Okay, so her joint frozen.
It's all love. Lee, I got a lot. It's probably because I'm in here. I'm gonna step out. She gonna step in. Lee, ain't nothing but love. Y'all have a good night.
All right,
we'll catch y'all.
Enjoy your night.
Next week, big homie. Okay.
No, but I wanted to say something also. When women allow certain things, we cannot never forget the fact that it may be learned behavior. Because disrespect, being abused verbally or physically may have something to do with, may have been already learned in her household. So I definitely want to speak on that. It's just not like some women just allow things to happen. If that's all they know, and they felt like, okay, growing up in a household, being hit on, or just not even physically abused, but verbally abused or disrespected, and they watched their mother think that, okay, that's love, and to be able to keep the man in the house, they endured all that. You know what I'm saying? Some women grow up thinking, okay, then it's okay. It's unfortunate and it's not okay, but
All right. Okay. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Let the sis come up in here. We got the joint moving before they said I put up fake joint and she wasn't real, and I just used the picture.
What's up, babe? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you beautifully. You know what I mean? And you look good as usual. How she look, y'all?
She
You
looks
look good. You look good.
You know?
Right.
Really, I want you to meet I am Asia, Mignon. If you can hear her mic always messing up, Asia. But anyway, that's Asia right there. All right? So we're gonna start. What we was dealing with is learn. Hey, Asia, you can hear us? Well, we was
Yeah, I
talking.
can hear you.
Okay.
It's
All
a little
right. So
better.
we're gonna get you and Lily in so we can get y'all, talk about something. What we're talking about is relationships as far as letting a woman allowing a man to disrespect or treat her bad, put his hands on or whatever, and familiarity breeds disrespect. You get comfortable with a person, you let him disrespect you one time by calling you a B, then you know he gonna keep calling you a B. So you know when he should have said it the first time, you should have checked him. And my favorite that I've been trying to give to all the young ladies since you've been gone, Neely, you know what I mean? Is that when you first meet a man, let him know who you are, what your intentions are, what it is you're seeking at that moment. And when those emotions change and you start seeking more or less, express that as well. Don't keep it that you think he knows that, because you feel in some way, I know he feeling me because I'm feeling him. So he got to know. And then next thing you know, a week later, you jump in the bed with him. And the next morning, you call him like, where you at? You understand what I'm saying? So you understand where I'm going at with it? I'm just saying that you have to check it. I'll say Lily ready to go in on me. So I'm gonna let Lily go on in. Go ahead, Lily. Go ahead, Lily. Go on in on me. Yeah, that's what you do.
No. I'm not ready to go in on you, but
I love it. Just do you.
I heard you say a lot of different things.
Yeah, with two different topics.
Okay, so the first part, I'm hearing abusive relationship, right?
Mm-hmm. Check it in the door.
Okay, so the second part, I'm hearing what? You lost me. You know you be all over.
The second part was as far as I don't even remember. You don't do me off. Deal with the first, then we get to the second. Be that you.
You said something about learned behavior.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even remember what I was saying. She don't threw me off.
You know.
You talk about learned behavior.
Right.
But I said something else after that.
Yeah, he did. That's
What
what
else I said after learned behavior, though, son?
Okay.
I'm just rambling.
No, you were saying that a woman needs to let a man know what she wants from
at the beginning of the relationship. Like when I meet you and I say, hey, how you doing? I say, oh man, you looking good. That red hair with that NY hat looking good, girl. What's your name? And you say, oh, I'm Lily. You'd be like, okay, well, I'm unique. And then now that's where women go first. And I feel a woman is supposed to let it be known at that point what they're after. Well, how you make, look like you one of them bad boys. And I don't know if I'm really ready for one of them because I ain't trying to put this good thing on you and have you, trying to run me down because I'm an R&B star and I need my privacy. You know what I mean? But that's
no, they don't come at me like they don't come at me like that today.
And how they don't say you look good. I say you're supposed to say that. I just say they're supposed to say that.
Oh yeah, they say that, but guys, their whole rap is a little bit different now.
No one know your rap, Lily.
I ain't got no rap.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The problem is when you meet a guy, I feel that's where you're supposed to lay down what your standards are and your expectations of him when you're meeting him at that initial meeting.
But what if
Okay.
Right.
So what if you at the first meeting? What if you ain't even looking for it, even do it? It's like
No, but you tell him that.
Not really.
Listen, I'm telling you how us men, from my point of view, I'm telling you, this is a man speaking. From my point of view, how I would respect a woman if she let me know at the onset that, hey, this is what I want. We know she ain't gonna say she want no marriage because she don't know me. So I say, you got to
choose. But I might not tell you what I want because I don't even really, I might not even be feeling you like that. It's good to know.
That's the point. Then you say that. The whole point I'm making is communication. From ladies, that's it. If you don't like me, say, yo, black ugly ass, get up out of here. I don't like you. And I ain't got no problem with that.
Well, I think it depends on your approach. If you just because somebody is complimentary, that don't mean that they trying to get with you. Or I've had married men. No. Just listen. Let me land my plane. I've had married men compliment me, but that's as far as it goes. Like, wow, you know, you so beautiful, man. You know, if blah blah, whatever the hell they want to say. If I wasn't married, blah blah blah, and they keep it moving. You know, so I think it depends on how you drive the conversation. If you coming at me a different kind of way, and I hear what she's saying, she said, just because somebody says hi, that don't even mean, it doesn't mean that we're gonna go there. Like, you like me like that, or I'm trying to get what you like that. You have to let me know that you have intentions for me. As far as
my
dating,
point.
and then that's when I tell you, well, you know, I'm kind of in a relationship right now, or you just not my type, and you know, it could be anything. However that goes.
Lily, that's exactly what I was saying. I'm saying the same thing. At the beginning, you let it know what it is. No matter how minute, you know what I mean, that may be, as far as, you know, yeah, we could just go get something to drink, or you could walk me to my car because it is a little dark in the alley. You understand what I'm saying? Then when he walked
No,
I
don't
wait.
No, women, I don't think women today do no dumb shit like that. First of all, at this age, ain't nobody, you ain't gonna invite no dude you don't know to walk you to their fucking car.
Just an example.
No, that's a bad example.
Oh, a bad example. I wear that.
That's a bad example. I mean, I wouldn't think, as much stuff is happening out here now, I don't think women are asking men. I mean, there'll have to be some type of comfortability involved, or maybe you know this guy through somebody, something. It has to be some type of connection. I just don't see me asking a guy, hey, walk me to my car. No, probably not.
And even if they do, it's like, I'm not going to give you this whole rundown about who I am, what I want, and what I expect from you. It's like, listen, that's going to be way down the line, because at the end of the day, we need to have a whole lot of more conversations. And it depends on who you are. Like, okay, let's say Lily, for instance, people know who she is or whatever, and maybe, or even if somebody not even from singing, somebody who know her from way back, they probably already know what type of female she is, what type of dude she deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, even for me, for instance, you know, people come at me a certain way because they kind of know my past, or they know the type of dudes that I dealt with from the book, or even people who know me from the street. They ain't gonna come at me differently than someone else, because they already know how I get down. They know the type of dudes I like. You know what I mean? So it's different. It could be different from me and Kenya. You know what I'm saying? How somebody approach us. So
my question wasn't about the approach. My question that I'm asking is, you know, what do you do when you first meet him? If you don't want him to walk,
I'm not telling them anything.
all I'm saying is communicate what you want to him. That's it.
Now, are you something because when you first meet a woman, your thing is like, listen, I like how you look. I might be ready to do something with you, but I'm gonna tell you exactly.
That's how I feel. Yes,
that's
how I feel.
We might not be feeling that. It's like
and you're entitled to, and you would tell me that, and I would respect that. But I gave you the choice to know what I was, you know, bringing.
Can I add something too?
Yes, you can.
All right. So a lot of times, even when we get approached, a lot of, you know, oh, hey, how you doing? You know, you feel pretty. I want to get to know you a little bit better, blah, blah, blah. And I'll go, you know, I appreciate that. I'm flattered, but I'm in a situation, or I have somebody. And then they go, I always hear this all the time. Oh, but we could be friends though. No, I didn't ask you to be my friend. I have enough friends. So it's like, by a guy saying that to me, he's clearly saying, I don't care about your situation. I'm just gonna do, you know, I want to do me for me, and I feel that I could do too, whatever situation you have. So even when you are respectable in saying that I'm in a relationship or I'm feeling somebody else, the men, they'll be like, oh no, but we could be friends. And then, oh, let me get your number though. Like, no, I said, no, I'm good.
That's true. It's like,
you're right. You're right about that. Dudes do that, but not all men. Now all men
not
do that.
all. No,
You
not
know
all.
what I mean?
What
And you know,
I
and all men, you know, just because they conversing with you, don't mean they want to get with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a funny misconception too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, because I'm having a conversation, even if I say hello to you or whatever, that doesn't mean I necessarily trying to holler at you or want to go any further. You know what I mean? I'm just being polite. I'm from Harlem. Everybody speak to everybody. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I mean? So, but it's like, you know what I mean? But a lot of times women misconstrue that like, oh, he on me and this, that, and other. That's not even the case at all.
well,
You know what I mean?
that is
Yeah, I
true
feel
to
you.
a certain extent, but you know, guys from Harlem like them pretty girls now. Y'all ain't gonna talk to anybody when it comes. You'll talk to, you know, the
Oh,
lady that's looking out the window, but when it comes to somebody attractive, and don't front.
oh yeah, but y'all gonna let us know. But y'all gonna let us know. You gonna give me some type of hint. I'm not gonna push. You know, I'm gonna go off the vibe. And even if I go off the vibe, that doesn't mean I want to go all the way. You know what I mean? I might go up just want to just hang out with you. You know what I'm saying? And see what's going on with you, because you know what I'm saying. All the way might bring on a whole different set of problems. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean. I just might just want to hang out. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and talk smack with you or whatever. You know what I mean? And see where it go from there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, like you said, we like pretty girls. So even if you with me, we looking good together.
You said,
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Don't mean we got to be doing nothing.
I just feel like let's just dig a little deeper here.
Okay, let's go.
I know men with money, they have a different mentality.
Mhm.
They feel like they feel a sense of entitlement
Yes.
when
Yes,
it
Mhm.
comes
I agree.
to a lot of women. They're very cocky, and then they get mad at you. Then you become bitch. Fuck you. Like, you know, when you reject them. Like, I experience that to this day, but it's just different. I'm around a whole bunch of people, you know, that got a little cash or whatever, and if it don't excite me. Like, you don't excite me. You know, I'm not the same 18-year-old, 17-year-old girl that used to get excited over just stupid dumb shit. Like, you're not.
Right,
You gotta stimulate my mind. You gotta give me something more than your money, like, because
right, right,
I got
right,
my own money now. You know, so
right.
it's different. Like, give me something else. But you guys, especially guys that's getting money, especially back in the day, you guys feel a sense of entitlement, and you feel like girls have to fuck with you, and that's you know where they do that at.
I mean,
they got
And
money.
then you
I'm
don't
not gonna
take
go argue with you with that.
you don't take rejection well.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, you know how y'all are unique.
That Cavario.
but,
You know,
but what happens is that comes with the lifestyle though. That comes with the lifestyle. That comes with the lifestyle. That comes with the mindset. You know what happens is that you know what?
Let Asia say something. Asia, you were saying something? Asia finally said something. Let's see what Asia got to say. Asia, tell your
Well,
point
she
of view.
just said what I was gonna say. Guys feel guys feel entitled. There's a sense of entitlement because they are well off, because they do have money, and because of that, they get these over what's the word, overbearing egos. They're very egotistical, very pompous, and they just be all around assholes because they feel that they have this money. And there goes the love disrespect. But we as women have to let that dude know that, hey, I don't give a damn if you have $1,000,000,000,000,000 you're not going to talk to me like that. And that just goes to the level of respect that the woman has to demand it. And when we as women, we deserve that respect and we demand it. There's no other there. The only way he would mistreat us and talk to us crazy would be if we allowed it. Like, we can cut the umbilical cord on a lot of bull because we have that power. Because at the end of the day, you don't have what the woman has, which is, I won't say what that is, but that's one of the reasons why a lot of guys go out and get this money, because they feel inadequate and like they're just like their shoes like can't be filled or whatever. Like, they just don't have what it takes to approach a certain female or what have you. And the new today's game is to take the woman's self-esteem and make her feel this big when you really know that this woman is the boss. She's the chick. That's who you're going after. We as women have to know, well, if I'm so this and I'm so I don't measure up to your type or what have you, then we as women have to know to ask him, well, you know, why me? What does that make you? If I'm not good enough and you want to disrespect me, why chase me? Aren't you up here? You know, aren't you on the top tier? That's my take.
Big Sancho, what about the women that make more than men and treat the men like crap? I've seen that. Don't say you didn't see that. Oh, y'all don't want to speak on that.
Going back to last week's conversation, and that has to do with probably how they have been treated in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Just never know. Like one lady, young lady said, she was like, "Yo, I was just dumped on crazy so many times." It's like, so when I get up, I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna show them how it feels. It's like, listen, it's been done to women for decades, centuries, or whatever, of men treating women a certain type of way. Or women have seen it done to, it may not have even been done to them. They have seen it done to women and said, that's not going to be me, you know, or they already have this expectation, which is unfortunate because every man is not like that, but they have this expectation that men are going to treat them like crap, you know what I'm saying, unless, you know what I'm saying, the woman is of some status. So some women just kind of already prepare themselves to be like, you know what? And I want to say something. Cavario had asked something just now on the comments. Right, Cavario, I'm doing something different. You know, that's how people, he said, am I dealing with the same guys that I was dealing with 25 years ago? Absolutely not. Times have changed. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got that. When did you finally realize that you wanted to get away from that line of men choosing? Like, when does a woman usually come into that? You know, that, or when did you come into that?
Me?
Yeah. Each one of you women. When did you?
Well, you know the type of men that
the boys and get into dealing with men or making better choices.
Right. I would say better choices because you know how I came up. You know what I'm saying? You know the type of men that I dealt with. And it has to come a time in one's life. I mean, I'm older now, I'm 51. So it's like, you know, back then, the drug dealer, the murderer, that was my thing. If you read my book, that's all I ever dealt with. You know what I'm saying? So it has, when you're young, you're not thinking, and we thinking that that's what was popping, you know. Now that I'm older, it's like, okay, that really wasn't about nothing. Because I don't know how strong you probably know my story. You know, I'm saying I almost lost my life on more than one occasion. You know,
I know a few of your boyfriends. You know, close friends with a few of them.
Right. And, you know, I dealt with some real people that was influential in the street. And when you're young, you're not realizing how much, you know, I may have put my life in danger. I mean, I actually do know now, but you know, it has to come to a point where now it's like, okay, I need a grown man, you know what I'm saying, that's doing something different, that has a different type of mindset, you know what I'm saying, because the streets is just not what it is. And it's unfortunate that today we have a lot of grown ass boys.
That's true. That's true. I agree with you. I agree with you.
So they don't have no young ass girls.
Huh?
No,
we do. Listen, no, we do have some women that's of age that don't have that mindset or maturity. Yeah, no. Listen, I agree, but this is where, you know, you have to pick and choose, or not pick and choose. You have to be like, this is what I want, and if I don't find it, I'm not. One thing about me, I ain't never settling, never did, never will. You know, I'm a very strong-minded woman, you know. So, and I love me. So being alone and being lonely to me is definitely two separate things, you know. And I choose. I pick and choose. My DM every day is on some crazy. Somebody hit me today. Oh, it's a dead rapper. I'm not gonna say his name. He took over the guy's clothing line, telling me how much money they make every day. And I looked at it, but it's at the end of the day, I'm not impressed with that money. I don't care about who you are. I don't care about how much money you're making on that man's company now. Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So some people, like they was just saying before, they have that sense of entitlement because of probably where they at, what they doing, and how much money they make. Like, I've seen a whole lot of money back in the day. Like, that don't impress me. I need to know where your mindset is as far as your age and as an individual.
Okay, Hoss.
Oh well, I don't want to disclose any names, but I learned at a young age that money didn't matter when it comes to relationships. Because I remember this dude, he's one of the biggest dudes in New York City, but he in jail right now. And I remember his wife used to come around looking for this dude who wasn't even getting that type of money. And she used to ride around looking for him. I'm standing up here with him, and I'm standing up here with him. I'm like, yo, she looking for you? He was like, yeah, I was a young kid at the time. You know what I mean? So I'm younger than him. And he was like, yo, it's all about your style. It's all about who you are. So I always knew from back then that, you know what I'm saying, money didn't really matter. Money's not going to impress a woman. You follow what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? It depends on the type of woman. It has its position. It has its substance in the relationship. But at the end of the day, if a woman like you, she like you. If she don't, she don't. You know what I mean? I don't care how much money you pull out or whatever you do. And I raised daughters. So I raised daughters. I got 3 daughters. So I raised 2 of them, right? So one of my homeboys used to... Huh? One of my homeboys used to come by to the house. What you say?
How? Some of us are impressed.
Oh, my daughters. Well, you know what? My daughters is 28, 29, and 30. I raised a 28 and 29-year-old. You know, I'm thankful now I'm a grandfather. You know what I mean? And I just became a grandfather. My grandson's only 15 months old. You know what I mean? So thank you so much, Maisie. He's the light of my life. He's the light of my life. You know, and what happens is that I used to have a certain homeboy used to come by the house, and they used to say his name, which is just endearment. They little girls. He was like, hi, Flash. You know what I'm saying? They just like, it was just an endearment. You know, he was a handsome fella. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But they just was endeared to him. So I watched women grow up to be from little girls to women. You understand what I'm saying? And what happens is the dynamic is never going to be or how much money you got or how much you can pull out. You know what I mean? So what happens is that, it's the type of fella you are, and if you got the connection with her, you know what I mean? Because if you don't got that connection, it is never going to be never. You know what I mean? And then what happens is a dude with money, if he brings on a woman like that, he going to bring on a problem. You know what I mean? Because now you got something to lose. Now, if you ain't straight up with your position or what you're trying to do, now you got something to lose. Shorty can try to mess up your whole thing, whether you legit or illegitimate. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? It's always smart, you know what I'm saying, to pay attention to the woman that you bring on with you.
Paradise.
Yes. I wanted to answer.
Is it okay for a man to approach a woman knowing that he does not have his finances together? And she does. You would want someone, you want your mate, you want to be equally yoked.
That's true. And that's the courting, and that's what you do in the courting part. When you court, when you date.
Vice versa. That goes both ways.
Exactly. The Bible says in Proverbs, a confidence in an unfaithful man is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. So you know what I mean? So and that comes from Proverbs. You know what I mean? So the biblical scripture said that.
Let's change it up. Let's ask this one. Why or why not is it a good or bad thing to get back with an ex?
I'm cool with all my exes, but I ain't getting back with them, but we cool.
Right.
I'm pretty good with mine. I think
it's a bad thing.
It just depends. I'll let somebody else answer that.
Well,
I plead the fifth.
I will elaborate on that because
I plead the fifth.
There's a present situation that I'm dealing with that's similar to that. So I was dating this guy, right? And this was probably about 10, 12 years ago. Dating this guy, everything was going smooth. I thought, we had a rapport, we had a connection. But then one day I got an email, and he emailed me. He said, my life is about to change. So as a woman, I'm, this is the only guy that I'm really, messing with or whatever. So I'm like, ooh, I hope I'm a part of that change, right? So this nigga ends up telling me that, because I'm asking him like, well, how is your life about to change? Yo, he said, I can't talk to you anymore. You know, I'm about to move to Baltimore. I'm about to get married. And I was like,
What?
Whoa.
that was
That's messed up.
So 8 years later, he gets a divorce. He's back in Atlanta, and he's on me like white on rice. But today, I'm not interested.
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm
So
about to
he's
tell you.
doing whatever he can to like just to get me to pay attention to him. And I'm like, I'm just not there. Like, you think you could just do what you want to do and disappear for 8 years and just have my mind just all over the place, and you think you could just come back and just have it your way like Burger King? No, nigga. It ain't like that. Now you gotta wait for me. Now you have to wait for me to decide if I want to fuck with you or not. How long that wait is, I have no idea. But that's a current situation. And he's wondering why you not paying me, you know, why I gotta like chase you and everything. You're not chasing me. It's just I pick and choose if I want to talk to you or not.
Right.
Very simple. I could be sitting on the couch doing nothing. If he call, if I feel like having a conversation, I'll pick up the phone. If not, because I let him know, yo, you did me dirty.
Hold up. So y'all trying to tell me that y'all never went back and got no D from your ex?
No, that wasn't no.
No, that's not. That wasn't the question.
No, I was giving you a scenario. I'm not gonna say that.
No. Now I'm asking that question because everyone is acting away. You know, I said about going back with your ex. I didn't say getting to a long relationship. Just going back and giving your ex something. Why?
I ain't gonna say that now because your ex got some of the best penis.
Yeah, like that's the only thing you could miss from your ex.
I'm not gonna sit here and fun about that now, but I mean, I look at it a little different now. I'm not like thirsty for that like that anymore. Even though it's good, like nowadays you can make yourself have a good time by yourself. So you know, a lot of you guys have egos, and if I keep calling the ex to just kind of service me in that way, then his head is gonna swell up like.
As long as he's giving you good head, what difference does it make if his head swell up?
Huh?
As long as he's giving you good head and good D, what difference does it make?
Yeah, but that's not. I'm not driven by that today.
No, I didn't say you're driven. I didn't say you're driven. We know you're not driven. We know you're not driven. I'm saying you said that if you keep doing that, then his head would get swollen up. Like he'll take.
If I give him that much airtime to let him know, like, oh, he got that power too. You know, I'm not feeding nobody's ego like that no more.
No, but
that's coming down a dozen.
About communication.
Yes. Yes, that part right there. It's not feeding anybody's ego.
You ain't gonna tell me you laying it down good. Just because you don't want to feed my ego, you can't tell me the truth.
I don't care who's laying it down good.
No, I didn't say you did. Now you don't
Doesn't matter.
Let me find another question because we ain't gonna get a real answer out of this. Okay.
No.
It's like, yo, you ain't really gotta like with all my exes, but I don't want to lay down with them. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to have good relationships with people.
Well, this is a friendship. If you know how to have that.
Everybody went back, got some OP, and everybody went back, got some OP.
I probably did one time, but it's like, I'm good.
I'm gonna get back with it, but I'm saying you never ran into an old dude.
Never ever went back yet.
He's still looking good.
Yeah, but not to be with them.
No, I didn't say to be with them. I'm saying to with them.
Oh, a hit and run? All right.
I've done that before. I've hit and run.
Right.
Come up here acting like y'all know anything. I'm one unique out there.
Some of y'all men have been known to get to attack.
Oh, come on, Black. You cut tires. You cut tires.
18 years old.
And you
I was 18 years old.
If you on doing that, it's never gonna end.
When I broke your window.
Acting like you know up here.
Listen, baby, let me tell you something. Men have been known. No, men sometimes attack. And women gotta be careful with that because you could be sending a mixed message. It just depends. If you got that good, and
But it goes both ways.
It do sometimes.
Sometimes it depends.
I just ain't never been one to really. You said it one time. You said, "Do women get demonetized?" I don't know how. Can we say these things on this thing? I don't know. You said women get dignitized. That's crazy to me. I ain't never been dignitized.
Then why did you break the windows?
I broke the window because you ain't answer the door, and that was disrespectful. Any of my exes will tell you one thing about T is disrespect. That dignitized, I don't do that, baby.
But
I got something to say.
No, because you didn't open up the door.
I got something to say.
Unique. Why is
But bottom line is, I just want to say that they go back and get that good.
Wait, all right, let me speak on my experience because I did that. You know what I'm saying? I had an ex, and every few months, we have our little routine because I felt like he missed me. I got the ill nana. You know what I'm saying? So, he always be like, his code is how's life, how's work, how's everything. When he ask them 3 questions, I already know what time it is. All right, boom, and I'll see him, and then that's it. Because we don't have a serious relationship, with any other people. But the thing is, I asked him about it, when I last saw him, and I'm like, why is it, we obviously can't, stop being with each other in that way, but it's not how it used to be when we would be together. He was like, because I'm so comfortable with you. Your intimacy you give me, no other woman gives me. And at this point, I'm not ready to open up for something else but the intimacy that I'm familiar with.
Okay, hold on. Unique, you got people on here talking about I owe you money for tires. Hold on. I owe you money for tires.
I bought a whole brand new Jeep.
And then you got somebody else talking about, nah, Miss T, that ain't why you broke the one. Okay, now I gotta put it out.
We said that.
That was 1987. Now they read
you ain't never been dignitized, so 1987 didn't happen. And it wasn't 87, it was 88, 89. But
no, it wasn't 89.
Y'all never been dignitized, and y'all need to stop it.
You know why I wasn't 89?
I've been with a few of y'all, and y'all already know y'all ain't handling this like y'all said y'all handling it. So stop it.
I'm about to bust your bubble. 89, I was with my daughter's father.
Well, whatever year it was, Black.
No.
I don't know what year it was.
I wasn't dignitized because when I was messing with you, I was also messing with my ex-husband.
Oh, so you was cheating on him.
Ooh, I was good. So I wasn't dignitized. I had you. I had him.
Now the truth comes out.
Read the book.
Get the book. Get the book. Get the book.
All of them.
Come on with that.
I was making my rounds in 87, baby. So
whatever year it was you was dignitized, don't pull that year out your life because it was there. That's the point that I'm making. But go ahead, Asia. We don't need to get on that. Go ahead, Asia. But I'm sure you was dignitized.
I got your time, though.
Go ahead, Asia. Let me hear yours. King,
I just want to say good night. I have enjoyed the conversation. All the topics were lit. And good night, everybody. Thank you for having me again.
Good night.
Oh, good night.
Hi, Asia.
All right, nice having you, Asia. All right. Okay. But anyway,
I hear the question. My phone kept going in and out. What's the topic?
Like she never did. Okay, what's the craziest breakup line you ever heard? When a dude told you he just not into you no more. What's the craziest one that he tried? I know you had some, Black.
Nah, nobody broke up with me.
I got some.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to make myself look any type of way. If somebody left me, I'm gonna say they left me. I don't care because I'm a hard woman to deal with. But honestly,
you're impossible.
A little crazy, yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the, but I don't have those crazy stories. I just really don't. Like it was amicable, or it was like, okay, I had to leave because I had to get away from certain situations or whatever. But I never had a breakup like you just said. I never had that.
So they just did it like, but I didn't just left.
But me and you wasn't together. We just did our thing.
I'm glad you admitted that. Next, go ahead, Paradise.
No, it's in the book. It's in the
Gotta
book.
get that book.
In the book, hold on, Paradise. In the book, I say I was dating Unique, but Unique wasn't dating me because Unique loved women. I admitted that. I was 17 or 18. Really, no.
But see, that's what happens a lot.
Really?
I love y'all.
Women be dating us in their mind. We're not with you just because we have.
No, you know what excuse?
Right.
All right, let me say what excuse
keep
I
saying
got.
that nonsense, Unique, and it's crazy because, like I said the last time, you keep presenting yourself as if we're in a relationship. Your mouth say something, your actions say something totally different, and then you try to blame the woman like she crazy. You're doing that.
Okay.
All of us on here can attest to that behavior from you. We all ain't goddamn crazy.
Okay, but look, so you telling me because I treat you nice, I am wrong. I'm supposed to.
Nobody said nothing about that. Don't twist that up. Ain't nobody said nothing about you being wrong. It's about miscommunication.
First of all, one thing
about miscommunication.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But I mean, just because I open the door and I treat you special, that's because you are
supposed to. You're supposed to.
Damn door.
This what you're supposed to. Right, hello? You're supposed to do that, sir.
I know that.
You're gonna kudos to stuff that you're supposed to do. But what I'm saying to you is, when you talk about I want to smash while I make love to your mind, which you said last week, right? That foolishness. Come on with that. Come on with that. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, yo, she bringing up stuff from last week.
They take what happened
about past, right?
They turned into actors to get some ass.
Hello. You carried that around for a week.
Yes, baby. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
If I said that. She carried that around for 7 days. Like Black carried that around for 32.
Last week we couldn't get a word in edgewise, so I've been holding on. I needed to release.
Yeah, Low Mama was off the hook.
Hey, yo, it's only 2 of us and 4 y'all. I gotta get at least, double it. I gotta do something. Because y'all getting me tonight.
Wait, I wanted to answer your question on the breakup line, and this is what I used to always hear all the time, and it was annoying. They'll say, they'll be like, oh, you're too good of a woman, you deserve better. That's the most stupidest excuse and I hear that all the time. I'm like, you know what, so you want me to be ratchet? That's how we're gonna do this?
Okay. Just one question. How many times did you hear that before you realized it was stupid?
But why does that matter how many times I heard it? That's not a good defense. I'm sorry. No.
See, that's the point that I'm making. Y'all buy anything and get mad when we feed it to you. And y'all eat it. You know what I mean? If you're going to eat it, we're going to give it to you. Come on, ladies.
Well, why y'all got to doing that to some women? See, that's why I'm the type of woman I am.
Hey, yo, come on.
Right.
Okay. Let me ask you this then. Let's get back to this relationship crap. You know what I mean? Y'all like this fake commitment stuff. Okay. So now, if your man used to write you love letters, bring you flowers, rub your feet, take showers with you, wash your back when you're in the shower, you know what I mean? And then he stopped doing it. Does that mean he's not into you? Why do you feel that happens?
He doing it for
somebody
else.
Hello.
Something changed. He might be dealing with something that is taking his focus away from you. Not necessarily a woman, but something else.
Thank you,
in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenya. At least
somebody else.
Because y'all been just bashing us tonight.
Anything y'all, every time y'all stop doing something with one woman, somebody else is getting that shit.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No, 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 no. I mean, we
Like,
might just not out of our mind business wise and can't focus on sex.
Right. I was just going to say the same thing. I'm not giving sloppy the way I used to because my mind is on my money. So it ain't giving it to somebody else. But my money right now is not right, and sloppy is not top priority.
Tell them like it is, young lady. And she the youngest one up there. Tell them like it is, young lady. Please, somebody got some unique sense.
Wow. Don't insult my sisters like that. Stop playing. Don't play.
Hey, yo, they saying how fly your glasses is too. Ain't you talking intelligent? I'm feeling that. You know what I mean? But now, what if your partner went and told your best friend what his goals or dreams are? You know, something that he planned on doing, and then she mentions it to you, and you didn't know nothing about this dream or goal that he had because he shared it with your man. Lily.
Huh?
Did you hear that one?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, what if your partner went and shared? You know, what if your partner, your man, went and told your best friend what his goal or his dreams was? You know, one of them that you didn't know about, and she mentions, "Oh yeah, how is such and such doing? Did he ever start that such and such project he wanted to start?" And you didn't know nothing about it, but she's telling you about your man and what project he started.
Wow.
Keep telling you ladies, and don't run and don't duck and don't play no games.
That's messed up. There's a
That's
problem.
fire right there.
My
Fire.
first thing would be, okay, what else the hell she know that I don't know?
Mm-hmm. And why is he telling her?
That's just out of order. Like, why are you having conversations like that? Like, you know, goals and dreams are supposed to be a discussion between a mate, a couple.
Right.
So why she knows stuff about you that I don't?
Why she ain't tell me as soon as you opened your mouth?
It's out of order. It's out of order, and I never. That's why I don't be around no whole bunch of chicks.
Never.
I just don't.
Mm-hmm. If she didn't hit me up like, girl, why is your man talking to me?
Right.
We all got a problem. Period. Point blank.
Yep.
If you don't call me, like, why are you talking to me? Don't talk to me like that. I talk to your wife, and I'm gonna head up like, girl, I don't know what's up with this dude, but he's calling me talking about stuff y'all should be talking to. That ain't even gonna get that far. I'm not finding out later. If I rock with you, you gonna tell me immediately some violation is happening.
Yeah. It's maybe he feel he can't connect with her on the level that the friend is connecting with her. But why is that friend connecting with him that's an intimate level? She had no been doing it.
Right.
There's something wrong.
Why you got her number? Why you contacting her like that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now you could ask her in front of me, babe, can I talk to so and see what she think about this or whatever? But behind my back, violation. Yeah. Absolute violation.
Straight
up. Yeah.
I'm cutting his tires.
Oh, man. You good. I'm dropping him off at her house. Have him. Go ahead and talk all you want. Keep him.
Yeah, that's not a good look, huh?
All right, well, I got another one then. Let's go here. Does being cheated on mean that he don't love you?
No.
Why Why or why not?
For something, I don't know, men y'all just silly.
Y'all just don't give it up good enough.
Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it.
Not it.
Men, listen. I think men, the influences of the streets, friends, different things, or just for the love of women. You just got somebody that, a man just love women, and they sometimes don't mean no harm, but they not thinking straight. A lot of men are just not at that maturity level. Like, okay, I'm ready to settle. It just depends on where you are in your life. You have to expect certain things from certain men. Also, when a woman gets with a man, you gotta know who you with. And you know that by communication, the way you talk, the type of conversations that you guys have, you'll kind of understand where he's at in his life as a man and his maturity level. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't necessarily tell women, because I speak to some women sometimes, to just leave your man because he cheated. You have to find out why that happened. That's if you're in a relationship where the relationship has there's been a duration of time and this is something that's sustainable. You just gotta figure out what the problem is. Now, this is the new me. The old me, I'm leaving in 1.5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? But I've learned from a situation, and this is what I told my sister, her man ain't cheap, but you know, I've learned that in relationships, I never compromised in no relationship ever. Because I just always, you know, but I tell women now it's okay to compromise. You have to in order to be able to, you know what I'm saying, for y'all think to be right. But
hold on, Black. When did you even learn that word compromise?
During my marriage to Born.
Okay, and that was what, your second or your first?
Huh?
That was your second or your first marriage?
That was my first marriage.
Oh, okay, so you learned it early. That's good.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't married to Ace. Everybody think I was married to my daughter's father, but Born is the only one I was ever married to. Yeah, but I learned a lot of things. Now, me and Born is like this. I divorced him, but we like this. You know, we tight. And I've learned that, and you know, through growth and maturity. And I had to understand some things, and I had to also be honest with myself about the things that I did wrong. I ain't gonna blame everything on him. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't just all him. There were some things that I didn't understand and I didn't do to support him in a situation. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we like this. That's my guy. But, you know, I would say that, you know, if a man cheats, it doesn't necessarily mean that he does not love you. You have to understand why he did that and communicate. Now, if it's something that's repetitive and he's just playing out being disrespectful, I'm not going to tell any woman to stay in a relationship like that. You know what I'm saying? Because men can learn from what they did and understand that they hurt you and understand how it made you feel. And then y'all can move on from there. But if he does it over and over, then obviously he don't care how it made you feel and how he hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's I definitely agree with T on that. You know, as far as, you know, why men cheat and how we need to make sure we take the time to understand and in a relationship, as I said before, anytime someone does one thing, people are quick nowadays to just saying, okay, it's over. But real relationship means real work, real effort.
Yeah.
It's definitely. If I know I have my partner and you cheated on me, and I'm willing to still take that time to see understand you beyond my pain, that's gonna sensitize him. Be like, you know what? I did some grimy. You know, I was grimy to her. I violated her, but she still wanted to take the time to understand why I did that. So I owe it to her to communicate. So it's where that maturity level comes on both parts too.
Right.
Now, if he can't respect that I'm trying to understand where you coming from, you wasn't the man that's meant for me in the first place.
Not only understand the fact that you're ready to eat what he did and still move on with him.
Yeah.
He needs to respect that.
And that takes strength to do that.
Yes.
Because it ain't easy when you got to look at someone and then in the back of your mind, you seeing him with somebody else. That's not an easy feeling.
Because let me tell you something. What I learned also, men can never take what they do to us if we did it to them. See, I've been studying men since I was 16 years old.
It's World War III.
No, man, I love men. I love y'all. I love y'all.
Okay, you don't love it, but you showed me bashing us.
I love y'all to death, but I have studied y'all, and I understand that men could never, the things that they have done to women, oh my God, there's no way that they can take that and move on. We are strong.
And honestly, I gotta agree with that, Black.
Huh?
Honestly, I gotta agree.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Because
you
know, dudes will go crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you find out if you cheated on him, he tell you to handle it. You know what I'm saying? She ain't mean nothing. She was this, that, and the other. But let you do the opposite way, and then he gonna lose his mind. He gonna ask you, and he gonna ask you a weird question. You know what I mean? Did you do that? You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So I mean, it is a double-edged sword with that right there. You know what I mean? So you're right.
And that's
And
why
then they'll
men.
throw it in your face.
I learned if you can't do it, if you can't accept it, then don't do it. If you can't, that's how I live. That's how I live my life. If you can't accept it, then don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if you could do it, you know what I'm saying. You gotta be automatically understand that she could do it too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So and what happens is that But see, I got two different lives. Like my life before when I was in the street, all right, yeah, I did a lot of the things that most men do because tomorrow I might not be here no more. You know what I mean? But when I'm living a civilian life, I'm a civilian now. So being a civilian, I got a whole different dynamic. I got a whole different outlook. You know what I mean? Because you know what I'm saying? What happens is that if you know tomorrow you might be doing it, but you know how long you want to be laid up for. You know what I'm saying? So you just trying to say, yo, how many people catch the phone call for me? You know what I'm saying? She might not take the phone call with she. So that's why you rack up as many women as you can because y'all already done told us y'all not hanging out. You follow what I'm saying? But when you a square, when you're a civilian, when you live in a regular life, when you ain't got to turn around and look over your shoulder, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of brothers, they live a fantasy life. They live in a life that they wanna be that guy. That handles with certain dudes. Certain dudes have that life. That's his life. You follow what I'm saying? Certain women gravitate to certain men, and you know what I'm saying? And he has relationships with these type women, and it's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? But another guy see and say, I want to be him. And he would work to be him. You know what I'm saying? When this other guy didn't have to work to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference, because everybody's trying to work to be that dude. But some dudes just, you know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got another one. Lily, could you date someone? Okay, let's say you dating someone. I already know what Lily gonna say. I gotta get you too, Lily. You ain't saying that.
I might surprise you with the answer.
So now you date the dude for 3 months. Y'all done jet set it, went to a couple of islands. Y'all having a ball, and you're like, damn, this might be the one. This might be the best thing since Unique. You know what I mean?
I'll pass.
I'll pass, yo.
So then now you bring him home to mama and papa. You know what I mean? And they just don't like him. Could you still be with him? Or do you go back to Unique?
I will listen to my parents.
Huh? I didn't hear that. What she say, Hoss?
She said she will listen to her parents.
Stop it. Parents must be watching.
Well, okay. First of all, I would want to know what it is about that guy that disturbs them, because a lot of times, every time I didn't listen to my mom, she was always spot on. So my judgment was a little cloudy, obviously.
Oh, you were stigmatized.
Why you keep thinking people just
No, I
crazy
just said
about
because
dick?
you said your judgment was cloudy. When you get stigmatized,
It ain't got nothing to do with dick. You always think somebody like these.
Right. It could have been him. His personality.
His personality.
Y'all just run when I could come there, man. You said it was dick
stop talking about dick. You keep saying dickmatized. Ain't nobody.
Okay, take that out. Go ahead. Please, I apologize.
Nobody ain't dick fucking thirst burgers like that. No, nobody want no dick. He like dickmatized. Oh my God, man. That's all you got is your penis.
I mean, that's all I need. But anyway.
Give me something else, because I done heard you talk about penis
since
you started this damn show.
Y'all just went there when you just said that your vision was a little cloudy while you was with the dude.
I'm
if your mother's
talking
not
about character-wise. It has nothing to do with dick.
I just like when you say dick. Dick. And I'm sure everyone else do too.
Right, Mimi, my girl Mimi on here.
It has nothing to do with dick, okay? If my mom have an issue with a guy, or if she sees something in him that she don't like, which she's been spot on. So younger me, I probably would fuck with him if he if I needed something from him.
You know,
I'm just being honest. If I needed something from him, and something besides dick.
Man, why you looking over the camera like that?
Because I'm so sick of you thinking dick rules the world. Like you just think women just dick hungry.
No, man, you said that it was cloudy.
Yeah,
dick,
but
cloudy.
just because I'm cloudy, I'm talking about my judgment. It don't
Yeah,
have
exactly, because you're
I'm just saying,
different.
like, you think dick clouds girls all the time. Yeah,
I
dick
didn't
probably
say
cloud
it.
girls, but dick
You
don't
got me
cloud women. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'm sorry to disappoint some of y'all men, but I don't want to get into it, so I'm gonna keep my mouth
Nobody
closed.
wants your community dick.
Yeah, it is really not all about our penis. I'm telling y'all.
Some of y'all up there got to be whacked by now. You know what I mean? Some of y'all up there got to be whacked by now. Y'all act like y'all all got the ill nah.
Oh,
I mean, because y'all with the chick 20 years ago, these young boys might think y'all old grandmas.
Let's get into it. At 51, I'm still popping. This thing comes.
Right. I got a 32-year-old.
This thing comes with represents almost 30-year-olds, and I'm popping.
Wow.
Okay, Lily said she got 32-year-old. Dad, Kenya, what you got, a 16-year-old?
29, 26, 24, 10, and 8.
God damn. All right. Congratulations.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
And one grandbaby on the way.
I ain't trying to go over there.
Congratulations.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even want to ask that, 'cause I don't want to hear your mouth. You know what I mean?
No, how about we flip it and we ask you something?
Go ahead.
That you and your grown self probably haven't tapped into yet. You know,
What?
a lot of these older men have no idea what it's like to make love to a woman. And it's not all about dick.
Exactly.
Okay? We need face baths. We need all of that shit. Are you
okay? So you want me to just lay down, throw you on my face, pound the cheek, and just go up in it and just go crazy?
No. We just want you to sometimes you need that other way around, honey.
No, I'm just saying, is that a good start? Slam you on my face, spread your cheeks, and just bury my face and
absolutely.
I mean, that a good start?
Great start. Because that determines whether or not
what I'm saying. I just you said great start when you said great start. You don't go that long just to face, no matter how rough it is. Is that what you said?
All you gotta do is just lay there, okay?
And let you grind on out, huh?
And let you try something that you have not tried before.
Hey, y'all,
it's time to man up. We've been doing a lot of stuff out here since while you was doing 26 years, brother. Niggas is advanced.
You little type of technique.
We learned a little something in 26.
Okay.
Listen, and I did myself. I learned a little something too. That's how to keep T-bone with my wrist. You know what I mean?
Well, honey, when you and your arthritis hand.
Y'all crazy.
And let a women want to show you what you've been missing for 26 years.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. No, okay, let me ask this, seriously. So how do y'all like it? Sexually, are you quiet? Do you speak?
Oh, no.
Or do you just moan? Or do you bite your lip because you're scared to say, "Oh, Unique, you're killing me"?
It depends. If you handle it the way it needs to be handled, you're gonna get some type of feedback.
That's what I'm saying. I'm definitely asking ladies one at a time.
Oh, no,
but you know what? Women been quiet lately because y'all ain't doing shit.
Oh yes,
I'm here now.
Y'all ain't been knocking it down like y'all need to. Y'all talk a lot of shit and ain't doing nothing.
If somebody quiet,
we've been real quiet lately.
Yeah, if mentally I'm planning my whole week while you're doing what you're doing, then you're not.
Go ahead, Black. Let me hear yours.
Oh, I'm a talker. I like to talk. I like to tell you what I like, How
When
you
did that
doing?
begin? Because you was quiet as hell back then.
I was 17, 18.
Keep in mind that
I don't even know. I don't even
so
know.
Well,
young right
you
now.
did say you learned something along the way. My bad, wrong choice of words with you. You already chopped. You've been exercising, but
Oh yeah, nah.
okay, Kenya.
I got this thing down pat.
Huh?
Absolutely vocal. I am absolutely vocal. And if you're not vocal, you're gonna be absent. You will not be invited back.
You like to know how you doing, huh? How you're doing, huh?
Listen, don't waste my time and my good. If it's not to your satisfaction, I gotta eat that. But you ain't gonna eat that no more. You got to go.
Real talk.
Okay, so now let me ask y'all this: when did y'all realize that? Being that Black said that's when she was younger, she was all quiet. Cruel.
No, I wasn't. No, I don't know if I was. Nah, I started early with the talking, baby.
When? No, that's not when. We want some answers that for questions that wasn't revealed in the book. I'm gonna have to read your book too, Neely, and see where you at. But go ahead, Black. We on you. Got to read Neely's book.
Nah. I think I revealed some stuff.
Huh?
I revealed some stuff.
English. Next. But anyway.
Man, listen.
Anyway, let me ask you another one then. So now, if your man wants to watch porn while you're going down on him or while y'all are making love, what do you think of that, ladies?
What? No, you don't need no other. No, I don't agree with it.
Why it always gotta be a woman doing you? Everything that come out your mouth is you being served. Why can't you be servicing a woman?
Yeah, while I'm watching something on TV.
Now you using that to just do a unique bashing that Black normally
No. It's not no. It's not a unique bashing thing. But if I wanted to use it, I can't because that's all you keep saying. You keep putting your dick in a girl.
No, because the topic of my question is porn, and we know men watch porn more than women. So that's why I said,
how you know that?
You're alive.
Huh?
But how do you know that?
Yeah.
No, I know women watch porn too, but I'm saying, what I've been hearing is women have a problem when men always want to watch porn. You know what I mean?
I would hope you learn something while watching it. I said I would hope you learn something by watching it.
I don't watch porn.
I like
my mirror.
It depends on the type of porn. I like this porn nowadays is come in, shut up, fuck, get out kind of stuff. And I grew up on Vanessa Del Rio and all of that. So I do a whole story. Love me a little bit before you pound me out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like this type of porn to me is not arousing.
Yeah, it's not.
No, I didn't say it's arousing. I'm saying, how do you feel about the man wanting to watch porn while he's with you making love?
I'm trying to answer your question.
We don't need no extra interruptions.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Let's watch it together. Let's try and act it out.
I don't agree with it.
But it's not that like the porn that's out now. That stuff is just like, ew, really?
No.
They used to watch porn. I only had one person that used to watch porn. Everybody else, I don't think they ever watched no porn.
I don't watch porn.
Me, it never did anything for me. As like it never. I never needed it to get me aroused. To be honest, ever.
If you gotta watch porn while I'm with you, then I'm not handling my business. Because if I'm doing everything with my ill nana in my mouth, you shouldn't even think about looking at TV, let alone turning it on.
Maybe.
I'm addicted.
Hold up. Maybe, just maybe, you're doing it so damn good that he got to take his mind off of you by looking at her.
That's crazy.
I'm shaking like that. You don't need to watch nobody but me.
That sounds crazy.
Doing her thing.
No.
If you're watching it to learn some tricks and moves, then that's different.
Hello.
And hopefully they work.
Right? And I'll let you know vocally that it ain't or it is.
What do y'all feel that that we do less of for our women? What do you feel us as men do less of for y'all as women?
As far as what, sexually or in general?
Anything. Anything?
Oh, any way you want.
Protection. Y'all don't protect us like y'all used to.
No intimacy as much as
Oh, you're not
before.
allowing us to. That was where I started last week.
That's
I felt that when
that's sorry. Go
I
ahead.
feel that since I've been home, I've seen the women be so independent and strong, you know what I mean, and doing their thing, that it's kind of hard for them to release a little bit of that power, you know what I mean, to the men. Is what I've noticed. I might be wrong. You know what I mean? That it just
No,
run the show that it's kind of a little bit. It's not as freely given or released as back in the day. Is the way I see it. I might be wrong.
What's not freely released?
You know, just allow him to treat you like a woman.
Vulnerability. That's
You know, open the door for you, fix it to you. Just for you to allow him to treat you, you know, like you go to open the door and be, oh no, I got it. You know what I mean? You go to help carry the bag. Oh no, I got it, because you're just so used to doing it on your own.
Can I answer that?
And you know, so I mean, it's not like an intentional disrespect, but it's just who you became because you're so independent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wait,
I
let me carry that bag for you. You know what I mean? Oh no, I got it. And you got to say 2 or 3. No, I got it. You know what I mean? For them to really let you, you know what I mean? Because they're so used to just doing it on their own and they don't mean anything. Then after they realize it, because I normally point it out, like, dang, I mean, I know that bag heavy because it's killing me going up these stairs with you. But you know what I mean? I just wanted to help you with it, and you was giving me a hard time. Just let me, you know, express my gratitude that you're a woman and I'm proud of you. And I just wanted to give you something. You know what I mean? I've had that a few times going in different people's buildings. If I see people carrying something, I just ask to help because my hands are free. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, you got to look at it. It's probably, you know, they probably don't want to offend you, but you know, nowadays it's just different. You know, you just it's a lot scarier now. They don't know, even though you're trying to be a good Samaritan, but you know, they really don't know your intentions. You know, if somebody asks me, can they take my bag and walk me to my door? The first thing I would think of, nigga, I got this. You ain't gonna rape me tonight.
Okay? But I mean, you know, the projects where we used to people walking back and forth. That still happens in the projects where we just nice to people because we're walking by people every day. So sometimes we just speak just to speak to break the ice. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna walk by. So you know what I'm saying. We ain't gotta get into that. It's a whole nother world down there.
Yeah, but so many things have happened since you've been gone, and like Lily said, you don't know who to trust because you got well-dressed men in suits that have committed crimes against women. So
I agree.
It's a little scary out here. So you know, some women like I don't know, and like she said, you don't sometimes know what someone's intentions are. It's sad that we have to be that way because it would be nice if a man carry our bags or some stranger just opened the door and was genuine about it. Now you gotta wonder if, you know what I'm saying? Because this could be a well-dressed rapist.
Yeah, that's
things have been going on.
No, and you're 100% right. But I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's just.
And then also, most of our upbringings, we've been raised by single households.
Right.
So I'm going by the example of my mother raising 3 kids by herself, and my father was in and out of our lives. When he was in, he barely was there. It was like getting, you know, like he wasn't being a man to my mom when they were together. So it's like when you become a woman and you have to, you know, I don't know what it's like to see a man be a man. But so it's like when I meet someone, it's like a shock factor. Like a guy want to do these things. I'm like, wait, who sent you?
I agree.
What do you want?
You're not used to it. You're just not used to it.
But I'm gonna speak on the flip side of it too. Because of that, us as women have a stronger masculine energy because men and women both have masculine and feminine energy that they share, right? And I did watch the show last week, and I was like, I can't wait to speak on it. When as a masculine energy, that person wants to protect. They want to have control. They want to go, okay, this is going to happen, this, that, and the third. The feminine energy is the mother, the nurturer, the one that's gonna hold you down, but still make sure you be that man. And we forgot as women how to let men be men.
Yeah.
So that's why in my marriage, which is failed, is because I was the man and the woman. Cause I'm Harlemite. I'm a hustler forever. So I know if you're not gonna do it, I'm not gonna wait for you. I'm gonna
That's
hold
me.
it down my
Yep,
damn self.
that's me.
And then along that way, if you not, supporting me, it's like whatever. And so, but it turned him off from me.
Yeah.
But it's the way you convey that message, though. If you want support, it's the way you convey that message. A lot of times, women convey that message in the wrong tones. Like it's the delivery. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And what happens is that that's where the breakdown in communication comes at. You know what I mean? Because it's delivery, and it's understandable that a lot of women, have taken on both roles and have to deal with with the issues. You know what I'm saying? Because I see it myself. I see him walking with bags. I feel like I want to help with you, but I understand, like they say, the sign of the times is like you gotta fall back because that woman don't know your intention. You know what I mean? And a lot of women, they've been through a lot of different experiences. And a lot of them is negative. It's a child psychologist named D.W. Winnicott that says these are two things that make unstable adults: things in childhood that shouldn't happen, that do happen, and things in childhood that should happen that don't happen. You know what I mean? So what happens is that a lot of us is walking around with those scars and those issues and those burdens from childhood, and you know what? And each relationship, we try to figure it out. With each relationship, we try to release the shackle. All right, that don't belong, that don't belong, that don't belong. You know what I mean? But what happens is that this trial and error. You know what I'm saying? You go in and out of relationships because you're really trying to get to know yourself. And that's the thing about it. Most of us, you know what I'm saying, we need to try to get to know ourselves before we try to get into relationships because, we be dealing with that physical. But, you know what I'm saying, I find that myself, I'm better off alone. You know what I mean? I'm better off when I'm by myself because I'm dealing with me. When you're dealing with somebody else, you catering their needs, you catering what they want. You know what I mean? Go ahead,
I'm glad you went there, House.
Absolutely.
That's the next question to the ladies, meaning we got 4 of them up there. Why do women think of bad relationships? And not saying every woman before Lily jump out on me and black. Miss T.
Why he picking on us? Go ahead.
Now, I'm not saying every woman, but why do many women, feel like half a person if they don't have a man in their relationship? Or to explain that a little better, why do women think that it's better to be in a bad relationship than no relationship at all?
I don't think that at all. And
come on now.
No. I have that same question because I can't for the life of me understand, and you have a lot of women out here, you have a lot of women that in a bad relationship or in a relationship with anybody just for the sake of saying I'm in a relationship. I've never understood that. I never will understood it. I've never been that type of woman. I love me, and I love my own company to the point where if I don't have anybody, and most of that's by choice, I don't need nobody because I'm just not going to settle. But you have some women that settle just because they feel like they need somebody, and I don't understand that.
See, I can tell you from my experience, like Hassan said, is what you learn in childhood. Right. And what I saw at home, my mother catered to her husband. Everything was about having a good man behind her, man with a good job, a man could put in a good house and all that other stuff. So I learned like your purpose is to be his other half or to have him. Like without him, what are you? Right. And you prepare yourself to be his wife, his cook, his lover, not prepare yourself to be your provider, your protector, whatever. You always prepare yourself to be his, whatever he needs for you. So I know from that experience, personally, I used to feel like that. And that's why I was hypersexual when I was younger too, because I felt like I didn't have nothing but, good or whatever you want to call it. But I all I had was sex to offer. But it was better to sex him to death and have him than to be by myself. And it wasn't until I had to step outside of myself and I fell. Like the last relationship I was in, that put me like so face down in the dirt That was the only place God could talk to me and say, listen here.
That's deep.
I didn't create you for this.
I think
And
we
when I
all
Amen.
realized that, I was like, okay, let me put where's my crown? Hold up, I dropped my crown. Let me go get that.
That's
Put
right.
that on. And now, like you said, can't nobody tell me nothing, say nothing. Even though I can do these things for myself, I learned to allow a man to do it because that, that's his role for me. You know what I mean? But it took a while to get that conditioning at home.
Right.
I wanted to say something, and I feel, I feel y'all a part of my growing family, as we all Harlemites and we all have people with good intention.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to share and put myself out there that I just got to that level, literally, of being okay with being to myself, because I had to take a step back and I had to reflect and go, you know what? Everything that I did offer, it was good. It was good. It was sufficient enough to where it didn't validate me as a person, to where I'm okay with being by myself. Now, when I finally got separated, I have more peace. I feel relief. It's like a big weight lifted off of my shoulder.
The
I feel like
energy is gone from around you.
in my house, I would do it. I have so much joy in my spirit, and I'm like, damn, this dude my husband wasn't good for my spirit, to the point where now I feel free.
Wow.
So, I appreciate everything y'all all say, because just as much as I can speak and preach, I'm always open to learn, and that's what it's all about. Being willing to learn as well as to talk that talk. So being by myself, I think why people settle is because of the pressures, especially with social media. They want to paint a pretty picture all the time. They want to put a quote all the time. Everybody's a philosopher all the time. Everyone knows all the right answers. Everyone's living a good life. No one wants to do real talk like this. This is real as it gets. And I feel that it has people broken if you're going to keep feeding an empty picture or empty image. So I know I can say, as a woman, being alone, I've learned to strengthen my spirit to be strong enough for myself and anyone else I see going through what I went through.
I wanted to add. Oh, go ahead, Hassan.
Well, I wanted to say, I had a lady friend of mine told me, and it was real. She said that having sex ain't bringing nothing but pain. You know what I mean? And I had to respect that. You know what? And when I looked at it, I understood what she said, but it wasn't just for a woman also. It's for men too. You know what I mean? Because, when we younger, we rushing to have sex. We rushing to, to do these things that we feel, gonna make us, include us in certain circles, or make us feel that, we become an adult or whatever. But what happens is a lot of those things could have waited. You know what I mean? And, so what happens is that, and then what happens is we find ourselves, now it's all about ego. It's all about, what I'm saying, how many girls I got, or how does she look, or, how much did, she submitted to me or whatever like that. And what happens, that's not healthy. That's not healthy living, and that's not healthy thinking. You know what I mean? And what happens is that, that's why, we got to get into ourselves, because to find out what we really want. You know what I mean? Because majority of people just at 18 years old just started telling themselves what to do. They've been told by their parents what to do all up to 18 or 20 till they get out their house. The majority of people. Now you get into a spouse, now or a relationship. Now you got somebody else telling you what to do. You know what I mean? You telling that person what to do. But what do you really want to do? You know what I mean? And that's the thing about it. You know what I'm saying? Well, we got to get to know ourselves before we start fixing things. And what happens is that somebody who's with you, they got to believe in your dream. You know what I mean? Like the lady said earlier, you got to be evenly yoked. But they got to believe in your dream. You got that. You got to have a set of goals. That's why God gave us children. So the goal is the child is supposed to be the common goal. You know what I mean? But even after you have, what's your goal? What's your outlook in life? What do you want to do? And what happens is we find ourselves with people who don't really want to do nothing. And it might look like they got something off the top. They might look like they got themselves together, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they just maintain it, and they really don't have no ambition. You know what I mean? Everybody on this panel got ambition. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on this panel got a goal, but now we don't need to get with somebody that's going to try to drain it and take it from us. You know what I'm saying? Because this is our purpose. This is our purpose that God put us here for. So, it's important that, we analyze all that stuff prior to, because you know what I'm saying. Like a lot of times, women think, "Oh, I'm pretty, you know, I can give you the ill, whatever." But you might be giving me a headache, and I don't need a headache.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? You know what I'm saying? You can keep the ill, you can keep all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I don't need the headache, because I got a plan and a purpose, and I don't really need you coming along and taking me off because you do got the ill, You know what I mean?
Right.
But
That's what it's all about.
let's be honest. You have to get to that point.
Right.
I
Oh,
remember I struggled so much when I was younger. I wrote a book about it with the whole sex thing. I regret the day I lost my virginity. You are not your past, because I had to put those experiences in a book because it was haunting me. Even though I achieved a certain level of success, like I've been places that people probably won't go in a lifetime, but it still did. I still struggle with this shit. And I know as a young girl, I didn't have sex with guys because that's what I wanted to do. I had sex with them because I felt like I had to.
Right.
Because I didn't want to be the girl that wasn't, because she wasn't popular. But as an adult, I learned it's good to be popular for the right shit than unpopular for the wrong shit.
Right.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
you know what? Not to cut you off, but a lot of guys feel the same way. A lot of guys is cheating on their girls. A lot of guys are cheating on their girls because they. A lot of guys cheating on their girls, so they worrying about what other people think.
Yeah.
A lot of guys is cheating on. A lot of guys is putting themselves in situations because they think that this is the role I'm supposed to be in. They think I'm supposed to be macho. They think I'm supposed to be this. They think I'm not a man if I don't have 50 girls. You know what I mean? So what happens is that, you know what, they don't have no, you know, they if they have an example, they don't have an example that they respect. You know what I mean? But we gotta start giving the examples they respect, because what happens is that all of us, you know what I'm saying, grow up and look at watching dysfunctional relationships. You know what I'm saying? Then we create dysfunctional relationships.
That's a fact.
These guys don't understand what they did to us, and how these experiences hurt us as women. It confused us. In my book I wrote, when my dad left, my mom always told us to treat a man like a king, but you treated a man like a king that treated you like shit.
Right.
Just imagine if I was, and I struggled with that for a minute. Like I felt like I had to be with a guy who wanted to be with me in a relationship, no matter how he treat me. And then it got to a point where I started to grow up, and I started to experience things and travel the world and see other women with nice guys. I'm like, damn, he don't treat her like my father treated my mother. So that's when I started to see guys treating women nicely, and I started to visit my friends' houses and see how their parents get along. I'm like, I ain't seen none of this shit.
Right.
So
I want to ask a question.
In a professional setting, struggling with this shit, like trying to figure out what kind of guy do I really like.
Right.
It took me a long time to even make love to a guy, like mentally, because I always felt like they was raping me. Because in your head, it's like,
wow, that's terrible.
Let me pound this ass. It's never a connection.
That's terrible.
It's always penis, stigmatized. It's always that kind of mentality. So you grow up thinking that you just gotta be, a fucking loose goose, when no, that is not God's plan for your life.
Right.
When we start doing crazy shit as an adult, they talk about us and we become a conversation piece, but that shit comes from somewhere.
That's right.
I wanted to ask, because Paradise was talking, and then Lily, you were shaking your head. Now, I grew up with both parents, my mother and my father, or whatever. Now, what I always wanted to ask some women who fathers probably left the household, because they say this, but sometimes I don't understand it. Is it true that when the father, depending on how close you was with your fathers, is it true that when they leave the house, is that when you venture out, are you looking for a man to take that place or fill a void? Is that true?
That's true.
It is true.
My dad left me at 10 years old, and in my book I talk about how when he left me, and I realized he wasn't coming back. Like, my dad was a womanizer. So this is, as I got older, I started to remember, like, damn, when I was 9, my auntie, the lady I call auntie, that was my dad's mistress or girlfriend. So I seen this and I started to resent my dad. Like I hated my father even seeing him in the casket. I don't know whether I was crying because I was happy that motherfucker was dead or just sad because my father's no longer here. But I was able to forgive him in death because I was dealing with a lot of stuff. I say in my book how when he left, he forced me into the arms of strange men that I call boyfriends.
That's deep.
So I had to learn the hard way. Like the streets beat my ass. I didn't have I have sisters, but they met nice guys. I was the last, my mother's youngest child. I was the only one out in the fucking wilderness trying to figure out what is a nice guy? What is a nice couple? Like, what the hell I'm supposed to be doing? And I'm so blessed that I found myself and I was able to learn and love myself because I think about a lot of stuff that I did. I wish I could take all of that shit back. I wish I could take all my mistakes back. And now I'm to the point where I want to get married and like T, I'm not married by choice. I'm not, but I wish the one thing I could give him is my goddamn virginity. I wish I had that to give my husband.
But you know what? At the end of the day, it was a learning lesson. You had you have an experience that you was able to write a book about that can potentially and hopefully help other young girls.
Oh yeah, and that's what it's about.
So don't keep regretting it at all. Your book is about that. But at the end of the day, you have to say, you know what? It gave me a story to tell, and hopefully it can help somebody.
For sure. And that's the purpose. Yeah. That's the purpose.
Right.
So,
and I understand exactly.
I don't sit on that right now. Now I can have these conversations and be comfortable with myself.
Which is beautiful.
About it. I couldn't even talk about it. So now I'm comfortable with myself.
Which is a lot of healing.
I'm a hell of a woman right now. And I'm so dope as a woman right now that people don't even understand it. They look at me, they think I'm a bitch because I'm smart now. Like this industry, I've been fucked up and broken, homeless. This shit destroyed me. At a point in my life where I felt like I should have been the happiest. I was in hotels crying, miserable. But I had to find out who I was without all of them plus ones.
Right.
And that's as women, we struggle with that because as soon as you ask somebody who they are, who are you? Well, I'm such and such mother, I'm such and such wife, but who are you?
Right.
Wait a minute, ones, who are you standing alone? And we struggle, we don't know who the hell we are. But at 47 years old, I don't give a damn what nobody think about me. I'm gonna live my life, and I know I'm in the second, third quarter of life. I'm going out with a fucking bang.
Amen.
And that's what I try to. That's what I try to encourage women. Like, live your life. It don't cost no whole bunch of money to live good. You know, go to the movies and go to they got Cinema shows. That's my thing. People think I'm like all expensive. I don't spend money on shit. What makes brings me joy is a nice movie at a Center Bistro. We sit down, we chill, we get a Coke and some dinner. Yo, that's the perfect moment for me.
Right.
Happiness is not expensive.
Simplicity.
Yes, simplicity is key.
Yes.
I want to say something if I can. I had two fathers. I had my biological father and I had my stepfather. Now, I grew up with my stepfather. And the way my mother coddled to him was like an example to me of how you're supposed to treat your man because, we never lived in the projects. We lived in tenements, but we moved into like a co-op. We moved, we did the good, the upgrade, the moving on up. And my biological father, he and my mother didn't get along. He left early. He went on with his wife and whatever. And she tried to thwart that relationship between us, but we ended up being good friends. But coming up, once my mother had his baby, the dynamics between us changed. And I was seeking his love, his affection, his attention, his approval. And it was just like I got pushed to the side. And that pushed me to running to guys for their approval. You know what I mean? Running to them to be
Yes.
affectionate, for attention. I didn't feel pretty because my sister is half Puerto Rican. So coming up in the 80s and 90s, light skin, long hair was the shit. And I used to think I was black. Now y'all see my ass. Ain't nothing. I'm white as a bright bulb. My mentality was I was black and I was ugly. I really had no self-esteem because every time we go somewhere, they be looking at her and he beaming, and my mother's beaming right along with him. And if I say something, it was just like, you making noise. You know what I mean? I grew up with that, and I don't think it was intentional, but it was just the way they were. It was color struck and all of that. But it led me to seek out men because my own father, even though I had a man in the house, I still wasn't loved the way I needed to be loved. I wasn't raised. There was no conversation with me about who I was. You know what I mean? Like there was no talk about you are a princess and you be treated. You better keep your legs closed. You don't need no boyfriend. You don't need. It was just like I'm a human being. Every human being needs some type of affection from another person. An interaction don't have to be sexual. But with him, I guess in his protective daddy mode, anytime a guy says something to me, I got put on punishment. They could have been like, excuse me, miss, you got the time? Oh, you talking to these dudes? You on punishment for 2 months. And I'm like it was just it was crazy. Fugged me up, okay, for a long time. So once I got out the house, it was like, hi, miss. I'm like, oh, hi, you want to have sex? Hey, you cute. Really? Can I do this to you? Like, I was wilding. I was wilding. And this is with a father in the house. And then trying to reach out to my biological father, who was raising his daughter with his wife, and she's getting all the benefits, and I'm getting like letters once a year. It was craziness. Y'all hear me? But like I said, I had to hit that point. Like Lily said, it was like, well, you had to stop and look at yourself and go, wait a fucking minute, what the hell?
Right.
What is going on? You know what? Got me to that point. I'm not going off on a tangent, but got me to that point. I was scrolling through videos. I was so depressed. I was in a real bad place, and I was scrolling through videos, and this woman's post was like 3 words that will change your life. I am enough. And I swear to you, it sent chills down my spine. And when she said it and she went through her whole spiel, and I sat in my bed and I cried, she was like, go in the mirror and say, I am enough. And you know how long it took me to do that? Almost a year.
That's my next
one. That's deep.
To look Kenya in the face and go, I am enough, without crying, without blinking, without doing. I couldn't look myself in the mirror. Now watch a bitch walk back the mirror. What? I be like, next
Right. I know that's right.
But it took so long to get there without having
to answer that.
You know what I'm saying? To make me feel that way. I had to love me out of all of that. I had to forgive my fathers for who they were, not knowing that traditional Puerto Rican stuff. And some of y'all know Puerto Ricans don't really rock, their culture, the way they treat their women. So it wasn't intentional. It was just what he knew. And then my dad was off living his life. So it wasn't intentional, but it messed me up for a long time, and it made me seek out the wrong kind of attention.
But let me just say this. We performed at this, I don't know if y'all familiar with the Capital Jazz Cruise, but this is like one of those real good cruises, very mature. And I did a woman session there. When I tell you, it was women at my session, like it was some last minute thing, and I called it the Lion's Den, and I wanted to create a space where women can kind of come together and just share stories. That's it. So got to the place, and the session went extremely well. It was women there. The youngest was probably 26 to 80 years old. When I tell you successful women, this cruise was very expensive, more expensive than Tom Joyner cruise, right? I was talking to this lady, and she asked me, because I had 2 kids by the time I was 17. I had my first kid at 15, the second at 17 years old. And she said, Lily, do you ever regret, like, how do you act when people, how do you respond when people ask you, when they realize that I was a teen parent? I said, what do you mean? How do I act? Like, that's my truth, But these women were very successful. very successful. I mean, this lady had a kid when she was 16 years old. Was another lady that was 61 years old, and she admitted to everybody she had no idea who her kid's father was. And but the one thing that we all shared together was we all dealt with some kind of shame. I mean, these women are successful. Like the lady who had a kid at 16, her daughter's 30-something years old now, a successful accountant. And I'm like, what do you have to be ashamed about?
Right.
Like, your story is so beautiful. And I think that's the one thing that we all dealt with some shit we did when we was younger, and we regretted, that we wish we could take it back.
And we carry that fear.
But everybody was so set free when that damn set, because you will be surprised how women can help each other if we just share each other's stories. If we share a story, it's that simple. We will realize how much we do have in common. Instead of looking at each other like we crazy, yo, that person that you looking at crazy, you could probably help them, or vice versa. You know, but I'm like, yo, I encourage everybody, and I'm in the industry that'll rip you apart when you tell your truth and shit. I don't give a damn no more, because I'm not living for this industry. I'm not no fame whore, fuck all that shit. Like, I was who I am before this. It was a blessing. I love it. I still love it to this day. But if you don't understand who I am, and I'm not gonna allow you to hold me in bondage over some shit that I did when I was young, when I was stupid, and I was supposed to do stupid things.
Right.
So I don't know y'all from a can of paint, but I want to just encourage y'all to just live in your damn truth.
Oh, I do.
Don't be ashamed of nothing. Your story you'll be surprised what your story, how many women will be inspired by your story. You will help some women with your story and your truth. Like, we can't do no do-overs. We can't do life over. So you're not gonna make me feel bad about some shit I did when I was supposed to be dumb and do dumb shit. Like, I was supposed to do dumb shit at 17.
Right.
You know, hold me accountable for what I do now.
Right.
You know, but we have to, like, get past all of that and just kind of live in our truth and not live in shame, because we can't replay. It's no replays. You know, we all are powerful in our own way. We all are beautiful in our own way. We don't need validation from no dude. We don't we don't have to want somebody else's life to be hot and fly. So I told this lady yesterday, she was like 60. I said, sometimes go in your bathroom or your living room, dance naked. You know what I'm saying? Like, put on some damn Teddy Pendergrass and dance naked and feel yourself. We don't feel ourselves enough. Shit.
I have to say,
I'm so busy looking at Instagram.
I got too many goddamn kids in my house. I can't do shit.
Online. We need to feel ourselves and love ourselves a little bit more and not apologize for loving ourselves.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I force that down people's throat all the time. Live for you, love you. And people probably think, and I have to sometimes, you know, in my book, I like Lita, you did you. I did me too, but not because I had any absent parents. I was just freaking muck.
Right.
Back in the pool. And I grew up with my father, and I have to be so thankful for this man, because he's always used to tell me and my siblings, you leaders, love yourself. You know what I'm saying? He just always reinforced that we were special and we were somebody. And I'm so thankful for that. Yes, I ran up, you know, something, and this is another thing when I go speak to people. Sometimes parents will be like, what did I do wrong? How did I miss this? I grew up with both of my parents, went out there, sold drugs, got tied up for money, been shot and all that, because I made choices. So it's not always what somebody did wrong, but long as you instill the right ethics in your kids, we will always remember that.
And we will come back.
And that's what happened to me. So it's like, you know, some people, I was a bad parent. No, you wasn't. You know, some people just, you know, they kind of missed the mark. But for those that were, you know, because some parents have checked out. and it's unfortunate. And my parents were there, both worked, and I had a strict Jamaican father. Them ass whippings was serious. But when he went to Jamaica, I got crazy out there in them streets on 8th Avenue. Because the streets, man, it was like lights, camera, action.
Yes.
I wanted to be out there. But, you know, I tell parents, listen, don't worry, instill those ethics in your kids, and they will always remember that. And I just thank my father for always instilling certain things in me and my siblings, and saying that you're special, you're a leader, you're this, you're that. Because it made me, sometimes I think it made me too strong. You know, you know, when I'm with men, they like, damn, you like a dude, a man. I'm not. I'm just like taking no shit from nobody. Listen, you know, but I've learned to compromise. I've learned to try to be soft and pink sometimes, but just know you got to come correct, you know. But you know, it's good for us to vibe like this, and you know, like I said, hopefully it does help, you know, those out there, you know, men and women. And I've been fortunate enough that I think my story has helped more men. 93% of my audience on YouTube is men than it is women. Because I have men that say, damn, Miss T, I got a guy from DC. He has a son and a daughter. The daughter out there getting all kind of trouble. So he showed his son my documentary to say, listen, you don't want to happen to you what happened to her. It like learn from her mistakes, and I'm a female. So, you know, it's good that, like I told you, Lily, it's good for us to put our stories out there. And I put the good, the bad, and the ugly out there. You know, people, they be calling me thoughts and all kind of shit on YouTube. Listen, I'm Teflon thick, baby. Nothing hurts me.
Right,
you know?
right.
If I'm going to put my story out there, I'm going to give it to you 100%.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day. And we live and we learn from our mistakes. You know, we did a lot of stuff, like Lily said, when we were 17, we did stuff we were supposed to be doing. Because you do dumb stuff when you're young. But as you mature, the key is that we learn. That's the key, that we learn and we move forward. And hopefully our stories teach other people, you know. Yeah.
I wanted to add.
Go ahead. I was trying to add something for an hour.
Well, what I wanted to say is that I can understand exactly how you feel, because you know, like, you know, I was raised in institutions. So my mother left me and my father left me. So I understand that, you know, the deficit, you know, in terms about the feeling of abandonment, you know what I mean? And learning how to deal with that, you know what I mean? You know, my friend was the streets. That was my family. That's why I lived and breathed for a long time. So I understand, even though the dynamics can be different in terms about involving yourself and the various behaviors that's detrimental to you, you know what I mean? But how I had to cope with it, because I realized there's only two things that really bother all of us. It's things we feel bad about ourselves, and things that people did bad to us. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is you got to take both of those things, and you got to tell yourself every day, they don't own me. They don't own me anymore. You know what I mean? What I did in the past, I don't own me anymore. Like I don't talk about the street life that I live, because I'm not proud of that. So I'm not gonna brag about something I'm not proud of. You follow what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let that own me. I'm not gonna let that dictate to me, you know what I'm saying, my lifestyle, you know, and that's what we all gotta do. But the thing about it is that what I'm telling you is that some of these men that you're dealing with is broken too. You know what I mean? They're not able to tell you. They're not able to they hide behind the bravado. You know what I mean? They hide behind, you know, the machiness. You know what I mean? And some of it, you know, we're dealing with two different aspects, because you got alpha males. So you got alpha males who's naturally aggressive. You know what I mean? Alpha males and but then a lot of them are out behind the bottle because we scared of getting hurt. We scared of getting, you know, how it feels to be feeling vulnerable. They scared to, you know what I'm saying, to express themselves. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? The same way, you know, I feel if I wasn't scared to skate down a gun, I shouldn't be scared to express how I feel. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about it, being able to know the difference, because we so caught up with being this bravado and being this man that we have to be on this side, or out here in these streets, we run in these streets. And a lot of times we don't know how to be the man, you know what I'm saying, in terms that you need, because we think it's all about just being, you know, aggressive and protecting and this, that, and the other. But the woman needs more. And what happens is that, you know, and I've seen it, you know, you know, and, you know, in a lot of different aspects. So, you know, we have to start having some dialogue, communication. That's why I started an organization to stop rape, because I thought the oxymoron of a man is want to stop rape. You know what I mean? Because I got daughters, and I would never violate a woman. I would never disrespect a woman. But to find out the things that, because I've always had a woman give it to me. I ain't never had to wrestle. I ain't have to tussle. I ain't never have to go through all that. To see that women have to experience things of that nature, it always made me feel, it pissed me off a lot. So I said, we got to advocate for it. We got to advocate. We got to keep this dialogue between each other. Because as long as we on the men is on this side and the women is on this side, we never going to be able to be what we supposed to be for them children. Because you know what I'm saying? I never saw my mother and father together. You know what I mean? And I got professional parents. You know what I mean? But I never saw them together. So you know what I'm saying? So what happens is that we're going to repeat the cycle. You know what I mean? So it's up to us. Like we having this conversations right now. We helping somebody because somebody needs to hear these truths. Somebody needs to hear what we saying, and this is much needed. And I respect all y'all stories because I understand, because I know how I feel, because I fell in love with the streets, but the streets don't love you back.
Never.
You know what I mean? And my motto used to be crime pays, but it's only a loan because you got to pay it back. You know what I mean? So what happens is that, you know what I'm saying? We got to, like you said, we got to get to know ourselves. And the more we get to know ourselves, the better we be able to be better spouses to each other. And the better we be able to parent these children. Because these children, our children is confused because we hurting.
This generation.
We dealing with stuff. We dealing with stuff, emotional stuff that we shouldn't have to deal with because our parents let us down. You know what I mean? And if each generation continues to let the next generation down, we're going to have another, in 20 more years, another 40 years, another group of panels saying the same things we saying. So, the change starts with us. And I'm thankful that, that we was all here to bear our truth because at 7 years old, I wasn't supposed to grow up in an institution. I wasn't supposed to grow up eating off trade. I wasn't supposed to look at my mother leave and say, Mommy, where you go? You know what I mean? So what happens is that I understand, you know what I'm saying, when you say like, oh, because there's three things that let a black woman down. The father leave out, the baby father don't turn out to be disrespectful, and then the son turn out to be nothing. You know what I mean? So each and every way, each of the cycles you go on, the black women let you down here, let you down here. So we think what we need to make a platform so that we can start building each other up because we've done enough tearing each other down.
Amen. Thank you.
And I have something to say also to answer that question, Ms. T. And I respect all of y'all stories and y'all strength, and it's also helping me. Another big thing in our community is when trauma happens, it's always swept under the rug in our family. And that's a big issue. It becomes a demon that walks with you for the rest of your life. And when my father wasn't around, but he was someone, I call him like I do have a good relationship with him as a woman, but I know, whatever. But when he wasn't around, I didn't have that protection. And when things happened, I still didn't get it. So I was like, do I even matter? So when I got older and I started getting the peer pressure of, dealing with dudes and stuff like that, I didn't want to, but at that same time, I felt I didn't have nothing to offer because it was taken away from me. Now, a lot of things every one of y'all said resonates with me myself. And to the point where I have an attraction, I love older men because I know I always see the love that I never got in my father, I want it in that older man. And to be honest, older men treated me better than someone my own age. You know what I'm saying? And I'm okay with that. I got the protection I didn't get. I got the love, the affection I never experienced. And it's broken, but a lot of things when in our communities, when things are brushed under the rug, or when you're going into the system as a young child, as a group home, foster care, those things carry along with you. And then it's up to us, and then also listening to strong people to want to say, I love myself enough that I got to stop these demons because it's impacting my life. So sometimes I can even say, I try to look at the bright side of things of dealing with trauma. And I want to say that it helps me to have such a strong voice that I'm able to uplift people that I don't even know need that upliftment. And I get that from all of y'all on this panel. And I have so much respect and love for all of y'all. I wanted to say that.
That's what the whole thing is about. We touch so many people along our path that we don't know we touch. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of it, especially when, you know, God allows us to cross the path of someone that knows someone that we touched. Because, like, I remember I went through Oklahoma. I went to Oklahoma as the transport center when they transfer you from prison to prison. It was a dude that was in the program that I started in the FCI, but now they're sending me back to the penitentiary. And matter of fact, Black, wake up, look at Black sleep. Black sleep. Oh man, I thought you was on heroin for a minute. You know? Frank Kelly, good looking, homie. Hey, now Black. What was that kid name that went to Texas that signed to your publishing company when I went to Oklahoma in 2018?
Oh, Kaheem Tucker.
Yeah, Kaheem Tucker. I ran into him coming from Beaumont, from Florida, to show you how the whole federal system worked. So it was a dude that was there, that was in the class, that was loud, he was like worse than unique on his worst day back when I was at my worst. You know what I mean? And this is in prison. You know, so we in the joint, and I used to always talk to him, and I got on him. I used to always be serious with him, and he knew I didn't play, but he liked to come up under me. But I don't know for the life of me why he always wanted, not Taim, to my other kid, not know why he always came up under me. But by the time I left the jail and go about 8 months later, I'm in Oklahoma, and I meet her friend that, you know, signed on her publishing company, and he heard my name. He said, "Oh, you need?" He said, "Oh man, I forgot the kid's name," but he said such and such. Famo. He said, "Man, Famo," that's what they call him from Chicago. Famo always talk about you, man. Man, Famo said you like his brother. He said, "Man, you taught him so much in that program. I mean, yo, man, I swear to God, like I know you." But I thought this kid didn't even really like me because I was so hard on him. But he needed it, and I know what he needed. But I'm like, damn, why do you want to be around me? I'm like, yo, sit down. Who you play? And it's a grown man. But I had to really be hard with him. And I'm the only one that he kind of listened to. But he messed up in the jail where he was at, got in a fight, and got transferred. And I ran into this dude that was leaving the jail where he was at to tell me the impact that I had on him. So that's the moral of the story, that we touch people along our path that we don't even know we touched. Because,
exactly.
You know, just
exactly.
It's a beautiful thing.
We gotta understand we're not here for ourselves. We serve a greater purpose.
A greater purpose. We serve a greater purpose.
Hassan about Guy Fisher. You understand what I'm saying? He was to me, he was a miserable old man, because he was an old man when I came. I was 30 years old. You know what I mean? And he was already 50-something years old. So to me, he was a miserable old man. I was a young man and a young wild man. You know what I mean? But I heard everything he said, but I wasn't ready to listen to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I heard everything he said, but I told him,
difference.
You know what I mean? Y'all complaining, and I'm you know, but no, but I heard him, and as years went by, it came from my subconscious hearing him into my conscience and helped to shape me to move forward and get more into schooling and wanting more. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm telling you, he remembered that he don't like me. Believe that. But he don't even know the impact he had on me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know it's a blessing for him to hear this, because it was a blessing for me to hear about family. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Definitely a blessing. You don't know you touched. You know what I mean? So because everybody's doing everybody does the shout outs, you know what I'm saying? And never even been in contact with certain people, but just doing it to do it. You know what I mean? Which is a blessing, and not saying anything wrong with it. But when you know someone and you actually giving them their flowers when they're alive, it means something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wait till you're dead before you tell them, yo, that was the best friend I ever had.
When they're not here no more.
Relevant now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's
Yo,
definitely a
King
fact.
Noble, hold up, King Noble. What year you was in ADX Florence? Put that up here on the joint. You know what I mean? I think I got an idea who that might be with a name like that. King Noble, what year you was in ADX? You know what I mean? But anyway, y'all go ahead. One of the brothers is 70 years old, said he was in ADX Supermax where I was at, where
Yeah.
everybody at. You know
But
what
I
I mean?
heard that, like Unique was saying, having that impression. I worked in independent living programs for years. And what I learned about these kids, like Children's Village, where DMX grew up, and different Catholic Guardian Society. What I learned that these kids wasn't really bad. These kids they wanted structure, but the only thing that wasn't what they didn't have in their lives was probably consistency. And I learned that I worked with youth, even to adults in shelters. Every time they turn around, they had a different case manager. People need, especially a certain type of population, when they go through, they need consistency in their lives.
That's true.
And I'm like, I worked with some of my babies, and they still my babies, although they're grown with kids. That was like in the 90s. They grown now, and they still like Miss T. I'm still like cool with some of them, and it makes me proud. That lets me know that I did my job.
Exactly.
I listened to them. I was nice to them, although I was stern and firm in certain things. But and some of them are doing really, really good. But I learned that, like Unique with that guy, you might think they're not listening at the time, but we definitely have an impression on those people, whether they're young or old, as long as they show that you really do care and they have that consistency, or you are consistent with what you do for them. So yeah.
Hey, King Noble, I was there in 98. What unit you was in? I was in D block in 98.
That's true. That's true, Miss T.
Yeah.
That's very true. I worked as a substitute teacher, teaching kids, with behavior problems. I worked as a director of a shelter. I worked at workforce development, getting people jobs for the projects. And that's just everything you saying is that, and myself. And that used to be the funny thing about it. I work at these places, but I'm just as much as the client. I'm all the clients, y'all are my friends after work. You know what I mean? Like, y'all are my friends in my personal life. So that's why I was able to always relate. But what happens is it's the system. It's the system that, that creates this. It moves them around. Like, I'm a product of my group home counselors. My group home counselors taught me how to cook, how to wash, clean clothes. I still remember their names like they was my parents, Miss Boom, Miss Bondurant. You know what I'm saying? And so, what you did to them, you never know how much of you they'll be talking about how much tea to their own children. I learned this from Miss T, because it's that void. It's a void that a lot of us is going through. There's a void that a lot of us experience. And this void, this is why we have to, formats like this are important, because this fills the void. Because what happens is it shows young people that I'm not alone. Because a lot of times when I was young and I used to act out, I didn't realize because I wanted my parents to show up. I wanted them to come around. But the more I acted up, the more I got in trouble, and they never came around. So I started getting labels. They started, like, I was public enemy number one. You know what I mean? So we live destructive lifestyles without knowing our worth, because no one gives you any value. No one tells you that you're valuable from the very beginning. You know what I mean? When I was raising my daughters, I used to always tell them, don't do nothing you're not proud of. Because I couldn't tell them each situation. But I used to tell them, you can't go outside and scream out loud and tell everybody that you did it. You probably don't need to do it. You know what I mean? These was gray areas. You know what I'm saying? What I was able to, to be able to direct them. And this is why, my first grade, my daughter got pregnant at 27. You know what I mean? Now, who knows they lost their virginity? I don't know. They ain't none of my business. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful that they was able to live their childhood, because too much we throwing away our childhood. We too much rush to get to the adult and do all these things. And you got your whole life to be grown, but you only got this much time to be a child. So what happens is that, we got to, you know what I'm saying? So that's what happened to us. And that's what we trying to make sure that these kids can continue to have their childhood. Because you know what? Life is precious, and you don't realize how fast it goes. You know what I mean? One minute you hanging out and it's all about you. The next thing you know, you on Lenox Avenue and the man is asking you, can I have a light, sir? You're like, when did I turn into sir? You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden you're the OG now. Like when I turn to an OG, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still running around ripping and running. But you know what I'm saying? Life determines it for you. So evolution is growth. And if something doesn't grow, it becomes cancerous. You know what I mean? Cancer is something that doesn't grow. So, you know what I'm saying? We all in the process of growth. You know what I'm saying? We all going to be better tomorrow than we was today. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
The day after. You know what I'm saying? And that's why exercise and discipline. It's about, you know what I'm saying? That's why the spiritual system teaches fasting. They teach us fasting so we can resist temptation. You know what I'm saying? They teach us to have fasting so we can just get a waist trainer on or something like that, so we can resist temptation, because temptation is everywhere. You know what I mean? And then in the end result, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times temptation be the death of you. You know what I mean? Or like you said, be something you wish you never did in the first place. And you know what? And we have to create this dialogue with, especially with all of y'all with the stature that y'all have, create this type of dialogue, because it's reaching out to men and women. Some young men is right now learning to say, I don't need to teach somebody like this. I'm gonna confide something to you. I used to work in workforce development, so I used to have a homosexual young man. Yeah, I thought he was a homosexual. You know what I mean? He said, Mr. Higgins, he was like, you know what? He said, I'm not gay. He said, I like girls. I said, what you mean? Like, I'm looking at him like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because, his persona was homosexual. He's like, I like girls. He said, I'm afraid to talk to them. He said, because I don't have any money. He said, I don't have, you know what I'm saying? He said, you know what I'm saying? He's afraid to talk to me. He said, but I bought into the role because this is the role my aunt and my mother and them told me that I was as a child. This is what they told me. They told me I was, sweet or whatever political correct term is, you know what I mean? But and he bought into the role. But here this man's 27 years old and he's saying, this is not what I want to be. So a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? We got people living lives that's not what they want to be. There's a lot of young men out here being gangsters that really don't want to be gangsters, but they don't really know what it is to be. You know what I'm saying? This cloth is not cut for everyone. You know what I mean? Everyone feels that they're bringing it on, and and for Ms. Lee to come bring the truth, for Ms. T to come bring the truth, for Mecca, for Unique to come bring the truth. It's important for us because you know what, we need to hear it, because we get so much fluff and so much superficial stuff that our kids become superficial. They don't think we love them unless we buy them something. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? So we have to. This is what we're taking back our image. We're taking back, you know what I'm saying, our image in regards to saying, that we're articulate, intellectual people, and you know what I'm saying, that we can talk about our problems without taking medication, because you know what I'm saying, keeping our kids. Mental illness stems from bad parental relationships and bad intimate relationships. You know what I mean? When you hear people, they say, you know what, they bugged out into a bad intimate relationship, and then when you talk about people talk about from younger, I have issues from my parental relationship. So what happens is this is what reduces your mental health. And a pill is not going to help you fix your mental health. Just like getting drunk is not going to help you fix your mental health after you come down from being drunk. You know what I mean? So it's about coping with your issues and dealing with them. And some people use a spiritual system. They call it vibes, they call it energy, they call it spirit, whatever you call it. But you got to get inside yourself. And each spiritual book, if you get whatever religious system you are, you get into that book, it's going to tell you to love yourself. And God's love and strength is inside of you. And you know what I'm saying? You were made in His image. So we live and breathe. We image of life. And our purpose is here is not to be walking around just having sex and doing this. He has a greater purpose for us. You know what I mean? And men and women need to know that He has a greater purpose for us. You know what I mean? Because and just thank you that what y'all got made this literature to help free some minds and free some souls and free some people that need it.
Yes. Go ahead with that now. Come on now.
Pass the plate.
Amen. To God be the glory.
We've been on here 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? If y'all want to keep rocking, y'all rocking. That's why I was sitting here chilling. If not, we could wrap this up. We've been here 2.5 hours.
Yeah, this was good.
This was good. I appreciate it. This was beautiful. This was beautiful.
We'll save the rest of the time.
Okay. So let me find. Y'all ask another question, man. Give me a question, man. Did y'all have a question down?
But
I want to ask this question. Why do single women give advice?
Yeah. Is that oxymoron?
What?
Why do single women advice on relationships?
Well, maybe because if we had relationships that we had experiences, we can talk about it.
Okay.
Give some advice. Now, if somebody was never married and want to give advice on marriage, then that's like, I don't know about all that.
Right. Okay. I ain't here to argue. I'm not here to argue with no women. I'm here to learn. You know what I'm saying? I learned my best lessons in life from women. I'm a smart man because I listen to women.
Right.
That's a good answer.
Right. Good answer.
Listen, I can say their names: Diane Horton, Nola Rutledge. I can name a few. Cora Andrews. I can name a few. You know what I mean? So,
Nola Rutledge.
Nola Rutledge. You know, Abraham, you know Nola Rutledge.
That was my baby. God bless her.
Oh man, I love it. Nola raised me. I used to live with Nola.
Wow.
I used to live with Nola. You know what I mean? I know all them Rutledges. You know?
But yeah, this was good.
Question. Do y'all feel that dating someone from a different culture is going to work, or is this too complicated?
I can't do it. I can't go do nothing but black. I can't go nowhere else. I can't go here. I can't go there. Now I don't know about y'all, but I got to stay with, Black Eyed Peas,
No, she say race. She said culture, which that could be like Jamaican, that could be Haitian. It's like that.
That's a rough one too. That's a rough one too. Now you know what I mean. That's a rough one too. Now I need African American. Is it half? Or they have African American? I mean,
no, I
it's just
know that because the different experiences I've seen people have, even I have, because I'm light skinned, but I'm African American and Native American, and my husband was Nigerian, and the dynamic was way off.
I can imagine.
I dated a Nigerian.
As much as I love the motherland, I'm good. Trust me.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a Harlemite. I can only date Harlemites. You know what I'm saying? I gotta date my own culture. You know what I mean? You gotta give me 45 blocks to understand where I'm coming from. You know what I mean?
I had a pure Chinese boyfriend.
You had a Chinese boyfriend?
Wow.
Yes.
How was
Did he own a
that?
restaurant?
Huh?
Did he own a restaurant?
Experience for him.
Did he own a restaurant?
Oh, I'm laughing at that. No. It's definitely a different culture. But he turned out to be a man. No matter what he was, Chinese, black, whatever, he still had the same mentality as the Puerto Ricans, as the blacks that he was around. He grew up in oh my God, the projects downtown by the bridge.
Lower East Side.
So he was Blackanese, you know what I'm saying? He was one of those. And all he dated was black and Puerto Rican women. But around again, the Latino culture that he was around made him try to be dominant. And first of all, I was 10 years older than this dude. So I was like, so you tried the right one today.
Right.
Got a curfew, my dude. Get your ass home. Stop playing. For real. Because I don't see my age, so nobody thought nothing about it. But he was 20 and I was 30. He's fresh out of college, or still going to college, living under his parents' roof and whatever. And he couldn't even spend the night with me. And I'm just like, and you trying to tell me what? I wish you would. Right? But it turned out to be just a man. You know what I'm saying? It was not much of a cultural difference. He didn't even embrace his own culture, which is crazy. He spoke Cantonese. He was like, I ain't with that. He didn't even love himself. It was crazy. He didn't love himself. I was just like, I was so like, wow, whole Chinese boyfriend, wow. And he turned out to be an asshole just like a black one, or Latino. Like, I might as well do that. But I'm at this point, at this juncture in my life, it has to be black. Black and black. I'm all for us, 110%.
Amen.
I'm not against nobody. That ain't my preference.
Yeah, I'm not.
Black
Yeah,
coffee, no sugar, no
And our
fruit.
men need more love too. They really do,
Ask the
especially
question,
from us.
big homie.
Huh?
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You know?
We want to love y'all.
Brother King Noble
We
was asking
definitely
the
want to
question.
love y'all.
We want to love y'all too.
Man,
You're so silly.
Y'all need to
That
ask
tone was a
them.
little questionable. But
Listen, I put my cards on the table. You know, if you play your cards right, everything will be all right. Ain't that what Melissa Morgan said?
No,
You know?
that's Alicia Myers.
Oh, Lisa Myers, yeah. All right, Didi.
My joint right there, boy. That's right. That's Lisa Myers. Yes.
That's one of my favorite singers.
Yeah, mine too. I had to sing it wrong, but it's one of my favorite too. That's when she was with the group.
One Way.
One way. Yeah, One Way.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Oh, and also, okay, past the topic, this book.
Aurora, how
Meaning for the next one, like I want to know what happened at the end, if it was continued. I want to be all up in the business. So
Unique and silent.
Because it's 2 more parts to it. I just did it to pass time, and it just seemed like everybody loved it. So, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. That kept me sane a lot of time when they locked me in a box. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I know that's how I pass my time. You know, I started writing in the box. They gave me a felt tip pen.
You got that. I had to get the inside of the pen because they wouldn't give us the pen. The inside of the pen, and then wrap that around a piece of writing paper and wet it with water and just keep doing it until it got me to turn it into a handle so I could hold it to write with it.
Wow.
Right.
Plastic, and they were scared I was gonna stab somebody with it. You know?
Uh-huh.
So I used to get the homies to just give me just the ink to slide it under the door when they're not looking. You know what I mean? And
right.
You know, make a joint.
We are some creative creatures. They cannot.
Yeah, you sure will. You sure will.
Stop us.
Behind that wall, you will sure become creative.
You will.
You will become creative.
You know, Unique Lamont, Lamont, he straight killer, did 27 years. He made. It's on my Instagram, but I'll show it next time. He got in there and learned how to knit and crochet.
Man, you ain't gonna tell nobody that, Black.
I don't. I'm just doing it, no. Listen, he old man, but I'm just saying, like, yo, y'all get creative in there. I mean, I wore these bikinis to Mexico, Jamaica. They mean too. I'm like, yo, he used to make these knit teddy bears. I'm like, him? Like, yo. Unbelievable.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I was blown away when he was sitting those.
We talented people, man. We are some talented people, man. We just given half a chance and opportunity. We some talented people. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you have to get behind those walls to see that talent and just kind of expose your mind, you know, certain things.
Yeah, it's true.
But you know, it happens.
Unique, you got my letters?
Uh-oh.
I got the one that you sent me in 27 years.
No, we have phone calls too. So you got the phone calls. I'm still paying them bills off, sir.
He sell it to somebody else. A good one.
Unique, what was your talent in jail?
All that. If we talking about, I did teddy bears. I made bead necklaces, all those bead chains. I made all that while I was in there. You know?
Wow,
that's cool.
You know, because they put it on the screen and they give you the format, show you how to hold the needles. You know what I mean? And it really walk you through, and you got all day to literally sit there. And I'm talking about trying to learn something for 10 hours. Man, it's a blessing because that knock a day out quick. Them 10 hours.
So why you don't do it now?
Huh?
I will buy one of your pieces.
Okay, you got jokey joke. Well, if I do that, I won't be able to do the grown folks live. Y'all
But it's
clear the way
amazing.
for me. Hey, yo, we got to wrap it up, man. I've been here all night. We don't got more than enough, man. We're going to see them next week. You know what I mean?
All
I
right.
enjoyed y'all. I mean, I'm sure they enjoyed us because they hanging in there. You know what I mean? Lily, I want to thank you. You know what I mean?
Yes, Lily, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for showing.
So much.
Coming.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
God bless you and everything.
And I want to thank homegirl Asia that left. I am Asia Minion. You know, she was having difficulties. You know what I mean? And big shout out to Drez. Happy birthday to his son, 14.
Happy
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Scorpio, yes.
You know, my new co-host that Lily done popped in and held it down. You know what I mean? But I appreciate y'all, man. I'm getting ready to go. Thank you. You know what I mean? King
Thank
Noble,
you.
God bless you, big brother. Glad you're home. If you hear from Applebee, let me know. You know what I mean? All right. I'm getting ready to now.
All right, everybody.
Good night.
Hey, wait. Before we go, you gotta hit us with an AO, all right?
Make sure y'all go check out that Ralph McDaniel joint. His Bananas. Ralph McDaniel did a nice tape with me the other day, and I got a surprise only because y'all still up late night. I'm gonna do a live interview tomorrow with Billy Guy. You know what I mean? It probably, tomorrow I gotta go to. It'll be Sunday because tomorrow I gotta go. I gotta do a video with K Slay and some other things.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But,
and I hope to connect with everybody too.
Okay.
Definitely want to
thank everybody. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna see you next week. Appreciate you. God bless you.